Ducky. I get rewards for the badges. I didn't know that. Oh my god, I get a coffee. Very important. Oh, I have a teddy bear. There's a lot of things you can have. Did you see what's on my desk?
The 2 vibrators?
Oh, yeah.
Of course.
Like I said, we can share if you like.
Oh, thank you. It's so considerate.
That is so kind.
Oh, you got coffee, man. Nino's joining. Someone wants to collaborate?
Wait, did I join the right one? Did I click on the right thing?
Staffy's hosting, so you should join Staffy.
I presume so. I think it doesn't matter. I think it'll just join you into the same lobby anyway.
I'm gonna knock on your door.
It says you're in the right group. Oh wait, are you streaming?
Yeah. I just
Oh, you're
pressed the
streaming!
button.
Fuck
I
yeah!
didn't even. I just pushed the button.
Let me invite you on the thing. Here you go.
Oh, I can have flowers.
I'm in.
Let's go.
Nino's in. Let's go.
That's what she said. Maybe Nova will feel safe with you around, Nana. Oh, I'll help her. Hello. Hello.
I need protection.
Hello.
Hi, Danino.
Oh, I'm decorating my room. Are you in my room?
Hello.
Oh, yeah, I need purple.
Where's your room?
Our room's up here.
Well,
No one but you can say what you deserve.
Oh my god, it's so awful.
yours is. It's prettier than mine.
80s wallpaper.
Oh, that's true.
What are you talking
Like
about?
flower
Are you
patterns.
dissing my room? I am currently working
A
on
little
it.
bit. A little
This
bit.
is pre-World War One. This is what they used to have for their.
Nino
wallpapers.
is best. Yeah.
I hear judgment.
It reminds
I
me
do
of my
nothing but
grandma's
judgment.
house, you know?
Oh,
Like, okay, alright. You know what? Look, now there's a pink sink.
Grandma
sink.
Nova.
oh! If there's a pink sink, then it's definitely.
Oh
old
my
school.
god!
Wait, are we?
Right, now-
Are we the same?
If you want that, you get like the fucking puke green sink.
Bruh.
I think I have a green sink, or maybe it's a white sink. I'm not sure.
Let me check. Where's your bedroom?
It's downstairs. I'm a second-class citizen.
Downstairs.
Yeah.
Yeah, mine's downstairs. No, actually, mine's upstairs now.
What? I'm the only one that's
I
downstairs.
got an upgrade.
Oh wait, I
Oh,
have
I
a
forgot
blue.
yours is a fucking prison cell.
Yeah.
Nino's got a fucking
Feels-
steel floor.
Feels like home. There's a
At
lot
least it's
of
like
it.
clean-ish.
Yeah. I have donuts. They've been here for a very long time. They're quite stale.
That's stale, but that's nice. I took a bite.
Avocado green sink and bath stuff. Avocado? Avocado green? What sort of green is that?
That's like it's like, you know, like the washed out green. It's not good, trust me. That's like the fucking like 70s bathtub and stuff.
I have
Okay,
more
I
donuts.
decided to have a picture of a duck.
Oh, I have
Okay,
Offie.
alright.
Wait, that's not how I edit the bath. How do I edit the bath?
You don't have a bath.
My little sink is my
whoa.
bathtub.
I got like.
Oh,
Oh, right. Do you piss in it?
Is this avocado green?
We were
guy?
having this conversation earlier.
So,
Yeah, let's get Nino's opinion.
uh-huh.
Nino, I know
Yeah.
what you're gonna say, but is it okay to piss in the shower?
Yeah.
Yeah, I figured you'd say that.
Wait, what? What do
stay
you
in the
mean?
lunatic.
There's water running.
You stay
There's
in there
water
right now.
running. But look,
Little piss grandma, you stay in there.
but it's like, well, as long as you don't shit in the shower. Cause that's weird.
Oh, God,
That's
come
weird.
on.
That's
You just took it one step worse.
I don't do that. I mean, that's
Look,
worse. I know somebody
I
that
wouldn't want to stand
did
in my
that.
toilet because people have been pissing in there.
Oh.
So why would I want to stand in the shower if you've been pissing in there?
Well,
just
because
wash
it's me.
You're right, I need to wash in Gamer Girl piss.
Oh,
That's the
mean.
next bathwater.
Hey, nice pants. That's really bringing out your ass.
I don't have.
That's
I
what
don't
I'm
pay
saying.
water bills, guys. So like, for me, it's okay. I can piss in the shower or not piss in the shower. I don't have to pay for it.
Lampy88
But if you have
asked
to pay
me,
for it,
is it
Hello.
okay
I
to
can
pee
see
in
you.
the
I was
shower?
decorating my room.
Well, darling,
I
if
haven't
you're
seen
asking me,
you.
it's a bloody efficient way to save water in it. Plus,
Oh.
who's gonna know? Unless you've got a
probably
rather
watch
large
it.
willy, then maybe it'll make a splash. Just don't go Well, ass I mean, over
am I not
tit
allowed to
on the soap.
Well, I just.
Wait,
I
what?
don't know. I get anxiety.
I heard
I guess I'll join
Kanji
in.
and
Hold on.
Staffy and Staffy,
perfect,
and I just got so confused.
Wait, what is this?
I guess it's close enough to confuse people, which is good.
Yeah,
Evidence.
it's
does this mean?
they have documents. It's a lot of reading, and we don't know how to read.
This is so true.
Nova, do you want to see my
When on
bedroom?
deployment, you don't touch the floor even with socks on.
Okay, it's down here.
That's good.
Come down to second class.
Oh yeah, look at Ninu's fucking prison cells.
Welcome to my room.
Wow.
I have coffee and I have donuts.
Oh my gosh. Wait, I want that.
Yeah.
She's got that.
And I have toilet paper.
Cup of Joe. Oh, it says Cup of Joe though.
Joe Mama.
Oh my god, I'm staying here.
Very good. I like it.
I'm gonna start the next trial.
This,
Okay.
Yeah. This floor looks a little uncomfortable on the toes though.
Yeah, but imagine how it feels.
Yeah, I am imagining. and I
Probably
feel
feels
like-
pretty cold and nasty.
Yeah, but it's been hot these days, so I bet it feels nice.
That's true, that's true.
A shuttle is ready to take you to the trial.
Oh my god, we've been going 2 hours already? When did that happen?
Well, time flies when you're having fun.
Mostly
you
when
guys-
you're babysitting Nova as she's hiding.
I'm not hiding.
You hiding now?
I only was hiding. I was only hiding after Stabby was like, "Oh, when the alarm goes off, you should hide." That's what she was saying. And then I
Just go around the corner or something. Goddamn.
He's like, "Oh my god,
You don't need to
listen
go camping.
You fool! You absolute fool!"
Education and faith must follow our mandates. Children will learn obedience. Shape them
You've done this one
young,
before,
and they're
Nino.
ours for life. Teach
Oh,
the
We're
children.
not gonna do
Kids,
all of
Give
this.
them
drugs.
first communion, and
Drugs
we will
good.
let
Getting
you
Nova up
out.
to speed with a couple of them.
Yeah. You're gonna have fun in this one, Nova.
Okay. I killed a man before.
Oh yeah? But this time it's a woman.
It's that friend.
It's the
What?
dog.
Yeah, right.
Oh! Gosh, yeah. It's censored.
Oh, she's licking it.
Avion 47 asked me,
I mean, I would.
how
too.
would you prepare if you found out Stafair was coming over to visit?
Especially after what I've been, you know.
Darling, if Stafair was coming
Nobody
over,
can get that,
I'd
it's not.
have to pull out all the stops.
Oh.
First, I'd make
Wait, how
sure
do I
my
select
gaming
the
rig is
rig?
ready for some epic battles. Maybe even secure some ice cream for after.
Absolutely.
I'd set up a cozy spot
I think
for
it was too
chilling
late.
and laughing at D's nuts jokes.
Well, now I have it
Of
selected.
course,
You can put it
I'd
on
put on my
unequipped.
best sarcastic
It says
and funny
unequipped for view
face.
upgrade.
Because where's the fun in playing fair, right?
I
And
think
maybe
the
a
fun
quick
begins
work,
then,
work,
like-
work dance to welcome them.
Well, maybe you can.
Oh, darling,
Maybe
Ninu's
we
got
could
it all
add
figured
them.
out, hasn't
What did you
they?
pick?
I mean, ice cream, epic battles, and
you don't
D's
have
nuts
it selected.
jokes.
It's
That's the
part of your head.
trifecta of a good
Did you
time right
redeem
there.
both of them
And who
at the
could
same time?
resist a cheeky work dance?
Cheeky
Sounds like
work,
quite
work,
the plan
No
for
way.
a night of mischief and
Oh, wait, there's one
with just the right dash of sarcasm. Ninu knows the way into my cheeky little heart.
Yeah,
That's
if you
for
want to pull it
sure.
out, you press R.
Eat a little heart. Eat a little heart. Oh! What are those? Can I step on it?
I literally saw that one last night, Rogue.
Don't go to
Yeah,
him.
just make that-
Oh,
that
actually,
damage.
he will give you money.
This
You
guy?
have to be, yeah.
When you're
Yeah, he gives you money.
You want me to walk up to him?
Yeah, he gives you money. Go to him.
Daphne,
gives you
are
money.
you going to comment on any of this?
Staffy agrees.
Granada!
Oh, now he's not gonna give you money.
Oh shit!
He
Oh
pushing
shit!
me! Oh my gosh.
Sorry.
See, this is all because I didn't accept his money. Whoa.
Oh, whoa. He's
I'm
actually
still
here.
after you.
Oh, dang.
I'm in a real angry.
Punch me.
I forgot the buttons to press.
I'll enjoy some ancient
Where is
Education
you
is
okay?
seize the day.
Oh my god. It
Hello.
is good. It's a nun. Did you do the police?
Yeah, we did the first
that.
police one. And now we're just doing the first
Oh,
orphanage.
collect 15
And then we'll pick up where we
evidence.
left off, you know?
Or
I don't know what I'm doing.
We're going inside.
what I usually do is follow Staffy. Oh, there's another homeless
I
guy
don't
there.
remember my
He
way
gives
around.
you money if you go to him.
I don't want to talk to any more homeless men. They seem to like not like me.
Good.
feel
I
like
was just,
you're
I was
being,
just
like,
testing
really-
you. I was
being
testing you.
really nasty towards the homeless right now.
Wait, I'm sorry. I can't hear you over AI
I can't
Stafari.
even know if it's racist.
Wait. I can't even tell which one's the real Stafari.
It's still good. Excuse me.
Okay, I'm sorry, Staffy. I was listening to your AI explain why you're a better explosive cook than me.
Oh, I did blow up an oven though.
I blew up a
no.
microwave.
Wow, you guys
Yeah,
are
but, like-
you guys are the same.
Don't walk over to that. Don't walk over to that.
Oh no, I think I am I high?
Are you?
A little bit. Radio room.
Look at this lady. Look at her. The children.
Oh yeah, about that. She has actual like severed titties on her.
Oh,
Yes.
lovely.
Man, I wanted to say bing bongs, but then I remembered there is a bing bong.
But then you remembered Bing Bong when you cried.
Yeah. Bing bong that Fable did things to.
Okay.
He did things to the bing bong. Ooh.
Yeah, let's see if Nova can do this.
Oh, whoa, whoa.
Yeah, he's not real. He's not real.
I have no idea how I did that. Wait. How I did what?
You can do it, Nova. You're almost there. You're almost there. King of the jungle.
You got it. You got it. Let's go.
Oh, whoa.
Nice.
Yeah, you did it.
She has an ass.
I watched.
Also, the mission objectives scale up. So because there's 3 of us, we've now got to get 3 consoles instead of 2.
Oh no.
So we've got to do the boys' dorm, the girls' dorm, and the infants' dorm.
Okay.
Yeah, I forgot the map. So we are.
It's okay.
Oh, hi there. Ohio. Oh, they changed it. Wait,
Ohio!
Becky! Oh my god, look how cute it is. Aww.
Wait, what
Oh my
did you
god, it has
find?
a little eyebrow. What are you? What?
The ducky?
I threw a brick
What are
at
you
it.
doing? Why were you What? Alright, Ducky, don't worry. I'll protect you from Madame Stafare.
Oh,
She
no.
doesn't understand the joy of
Don't know
life.
there's a door here.
Hide,
Whoa!
hide
what?
your wives and hide your
I thought I was
kids.
gonna go in there.
Oh.
Why are you walking around in lingerie?
Oh,
Because that's what
okay,
they
but-
used to do
yeah,
in the
but-
olden days. Yeah, mannequin's butt.
I see a child having a tantrum.
I can't tell which wave is my wave. Oh, wait.
Yours is the green one.
No, no, no! It's
Guys,
dead!
it's got goggles in this way.
Oh.
Oh.
Hi, Paul. Adam.
I gotta
Thank
go
you for the
wee.
49 months.
BRB.
Thank you, Abby, and you've helped me become a puzzle master.
It's not toxic. I actually can cook now. I learned.
Really? Wait, did you guys trap me in this room? No, Neo, stop
No, you
peeing.
trapped me in that room.
These are my
I did.
radios!
Oh my god, it's a woman in lingerie. Oh.
We will
Meanwhile-
return to our regularly scheduled programming.
Oh, wait,
Diaper on
this is
the
the guy that makes you psycho. Oh boy, I got psycho anyway. Out. Are you hiding again, Ninu?
My heart is upset.
Your heart is upset. Wait, for real?
No, not for real.
I did the
Some
wee
man
wee.
just screamed
Okay.
at me.
Hello. I went for a wee.
I see.
Oh, wait, I think I just killed a man. Did I?
I might bottle that.
Did I kill him? What was that?
Wait, bottle my wee?
Don't you
Oh, it's a bad lady.
I hit it with a brick, you did.
Oh.
Hit it too.
Guys, I have a problemo.
No, you
I'm
don't.
high. Oh, no, I'm no longer high. I fixed it.
Oh yeah, the high part is not a fun part.
Oh wait, I've been in here.
Oh, Jesus
That thing,
Christ.
this thing is Rorschach.
Scared the shit out of me.
You're supposed to tell your therapist what you see, the first thing that you see.
Me?
But it's bullshit. The thing that pops up. Like, you know, the thing with ink?
Oh, the Rorschach thing.
Yeah. It's not
Fucking scared the
real.
shit out of me when the phantom guy sprinted at me.
Is this a trap door or can I open it?
I'm trapped now.
Oh, this is a door that can bash.
Right, so we
Welcome
did
to the
infants, and we
family
did
Aries-ism.
Boys?
Aries,
How many
Mom?
can do girls, Tom?
Thank you. Oh.
Oh.
The only correct answer is ink blot. Can you imagine? So like, what do you see? Ink blot. Okay. Now what do you see? Ink blot.
I see... yeah. I see a butterfly.
Exactly.
Monkey.
Jesus, oh my fucking god.
Where are the kids with the cocaine? Is it not this place?
Oh my god.
Are you dead?
Are you good then, Over?
I'm so fine. I'm so fine. There's just a lady here and I hid under a bed and then there was a fucking skeleton. Oh god. Oh.
Oh wow, I'm really struggling with this one actually. That's why, is because it was at the extreme.
Oh god! Oh, that was so close.
I may have attracted some people over, do you know that?
That's okay. I'm under a bed. Oh, sorry guys. It's really dry where I am.
I'm giving them the
I
runaround.
got like this.
You got a nosebleed?
Yeah, I got a nosebleed.
Oh no.
Wait, you got a nosebleed? No!
No, it's okay. I took care of it. I took care of it. I just had to step and get tissue.
Everything under control. Oh, return to the
really
reception.
It's against the law to have a nosebleed.
Oh.
You miss Ninu teaching psychology? You can watch the VOD.
I will teach you guys
Oh wait, I
again
just
on
realized I
another
left
day.
my night vision on while I left.
Crikey. I'm coming to you guys.
Why are you hiding again? There's nobody here. It's just me and you.
Oh,
I guess I am
oh
scared.
no.
Are you sure?
We have to go back to the reception desk.
My game said that you were in enemy.
Are you guys down? Wait, it's upstairs.
I am
Oh
an
no,
enemy.
this is the right place.
Back to the reception desk.
Yeah. I wait here for you guys.
Oh, I'm so high.
We're coming.
So
we're
high. Oh my god.
Coming. But there was an antitoxin right next to you.
What, really?
Oh. Yeah, you left it behind now.
You don't want the tentacle people coming after you, right? When press the button.
Hell yeah. Oh, I love that prayer is crossed out. It's just party.
It's time for morning lessons.
The simple and as happy.
Ron,
Report
thank
to
you
your
for the
homeroom
follow.
class for a reading from 1 Corinthians.
Is that Donald Duck?
Dr. Daddy ordered.
Oh, wait.
Oh, he's ours now?
He's ours now.
Yeah.
Oh, right. I upgraded it so I can actually fuck with enemies with it too.
Hell yeah. Oh, a lot of batteries.
Right, so there's 3 classrooms we have to find that all need
Oh.
reels replacing in them.
Okay.
So if you can pull that one out and I'll put a new one in.
Okay. Where do I put the old one?
Oh, here's a video thing that you need to put. Where I am.
There you go.
This side. Come
And I'll
this
put
way.
the last one out.
Okay, I'll take one of these. Gonna slap it in.
There you go.
Ah! Oh, it locks.
Pick up your reel and let's go.
So how?
What? Pick up one of them? Oh, okay.
Yeah, we have to find the classroom.
Oh,
where
fuck
we can
off.
replace them, but you can't go through the door with it.
Somebody bad is here.
So we have to go find where the things
Oh,
are,
it's on this side, huh?
which is here.
Is it here?
Oh, Staffy. I had, I don't. Ah, shit! Oh my. Oh, ow.
I confused him.
I'll
I
be
confused
on.
him. It's fine.
Oh, in
I mean, can you
Japanese?
pause TTS? Because I can't hear Staffy and Nino when the TTS go off.
It's Staffy speaking Japanese.
I know, I can't hear anything.
Omaera!
Omae wa
Ow.
shinderu.
Ow. Help.
My
I'm
lord.
high and I'm getting
Shinderu.
stabbed in a corner.
Oh no.
Help! I can't. Why can't I run?
Okay, I'm coming to save you.
You've got that reel.
Oh, ow.
I
Ow.
need to come and save
Ow.
you.
Thank you.
Come here.
Run. Just run.
There you go. I got health for you. You're running too fast. Come to me. I give you health. Smoke my. Oh.
Or wait,
My gas is finished.
it's okay. I had a bandage. I'm sorry.
You okay? I was.
I'm gonna stick with you.
That's fine. You can stick with Nina. Nina said she was gonna teach you the best hiding spots after all.
Yeah. So what I do is run around cluelessly.
Okay.
Okay, we go inside here now.
That's mostly what I do. I just get really lucky.
Yeah. Oh, this juice here. We need juice.
I need some like anti
Oh.
whatever's
Oh,
happening.
he intelligent.
You need to eat. Need to drink some gas. Here, this one.
Okay, chill. Dude,
Use
chill.
gas.
Oh,
You got it?
oh, I had some antidote.
Yeah. Now you don't see any weird things.
Yeah. Oh, so much better. Thank you.
You're welcome. Alright, this one is
I
done.
found the last one.
Oh, you got the... Okay. Oh, there's some...
What are they doing with body parts in this class?
Our Lord and Shepherd.
Donut.
Oh, we do have it. Yeah, there's a baddie poop head over there. Where Staffy is. Oh, gotta.
Got it.
Yay! Return to the reception, so we're
Back
gonna
to
go
the
downstairs
reception.
again.
Back to reality.
Snap back to reality. There goes the gravity. Oh, we are downstairs.
Is it okay to press button?
Yeah, go for it.
Press the button.
Yeah, press it, you press it. Why is there monster music playing? Uh-oh.
Probably
Chapel!
'cause you're a monster.
Stop the blasphemers in the chapel. We gotta do the Lord's work.
I'm not a fan. I should lock you out of the kitchen again, Inu.
Oh, yeah. That was funny. Oh, yeah. This is where we chop his legs?
Uh-huh, you got it. You remember.
Oh, they're having a party!
No more party.
Stop it.
Blasphemous.
Stopping
Blasphemous.
the party.
Blasphemous, kids. Blasphemous. Dancing no good.
And now, observe.
Look at that little fella.
Whoa! Oh wait, he's alive?
So, you remember the key thing?
Lampy,
Yeah.
you know, I think you're right. You're right.
We gotta get Spade and Diamond.
Spade and Diamond.
Could they be anywhere or just in the chapel?
Just in this part behind where he is.
Yeah. It says, I'll be back. Moida. Okay.
Are they gonna be hidden in bodies again, or is it hidden in different things?
You'll find out. You'll find out where they are.
Should I bash this floor?
Wait, last time they were like in the same spot, right?
Same spot. What do you mean?
Like
Oh, there's
you,
2 generators in the basement this
you
time.
picked it up, both of them, last time. I thought you picked it up from the same place.
I found a
I think
ducky.
it was just coincidence that we were both
Oh,
near each
is
other.
it a bad ducky?
He has TNT.
Yeah, but does it like go?
Yeah,
somebody's
he
here.
gets all tall when I come near him.
Yeah.
Wait,
I love that.
you're making the duck big. You're giving the duck an erection.
Wait, what
I'm
is
just
this
trying.
guy?
I found the corpse.
That's
I
an
found the
eye.
spade corpse.
Hey, that's good. That's 1 out of the 2.
This guy is Bunny? Okay, maybe
I can start that game. I'm stupid.
Oh, I found a man. I don't like him.
Me too.
He's a diamond. Let me get inside of you, sir.
Okay.
Oh God. Stop! I just need to get something out of here. I'm working. Okay, I got it.
Oh my god, hi.
Alright, I got one of the keys. I got the diamond.
Oh, I have the other one. Where do we put them?
Oh, you got the other one? Okay, we go back to the chapel. And then we find the guy.
I'm doing the 2 generators.
The fella. Yeah, here. Okay, you do that one, I do this one. Yay! Oh no.
I'm almost done with the generator.
Oh. He's only trying to help. Oh no, oh no. He's
Serving
giving...
the body of a
Ah! Oh god. Come on, use it. Wow. Okay.
I just was...
Oh, the bossman.
That's alright, I got it.
Oh, you got
Oh,
it.
okay. Okay, there's some crazy boy here.
I'm efficient.
Oh no, this is this guy. This guy's just mumbling. Are you ready, Nova?
Ah!
Yeah. Oh, okay.
Oh boy. This is terrible.
So we go very slowly.
Mega
makes
slowly?
you
What a
alive.
monster!
Oh god. Oh god.
It's okay. Everything is fine.
It's delicious.
Oh,
behind you, Mother.
oh, he didn't react. Okay.
It's fine.
He
I'll
just
Oh,
keep an eye on him.
we have some important work.
We're working.
We got this, Stephanie, right?
I got this.
there you go.
Oh my god.
Oh,
Oh my
hit
god.
you.
Ow, he's so
You need the ball, my bad. My bad.
here you go. You're gonna be fine. You're fine. I gave you health.
Holy Bible. Can't proceed with enemies.
Can't proceed with enemies nearby. Go away!
Hey, Stinky sir.
How do I use my stun thing?
Right click. Oh, you stunned him. I wish you could kill
Oh, you
him, but you can't kill him.
We have to move away from him. Bring him away.
Get over here. Stop throwing up and chase me.
Oh, Nova's being brave.
Nova's
Look
so
at her go.
brave.
Ow, ow. Okay, I tripped. This way.
We do need
Oh,
you here
come
as
in,
well, though.
Nova.
You need to
Oh.
actually make it
Oh,
back.
you do?
Yeah. Come back, Nova. We need you.
Don't worry, I'll
Need
come
you,
back.
Wappies.
Just give me a second. Excuse me.
She's so brave, isn't she?
Over there. Fuck me, look at that. That's good of ya. Watch it.
Hey, I'll watch it.
Hi.
Careful.
Regroup in the chap. Wait, we are in the chapel.
There you go. We're locked in.
Oh, disco.
Lord Jesus, the same night which he was betrayed, told Ren and he prayed,
Yeah, showering the blood.
Oh my god.
"This is my body, which is broken for you."
Oh, look at that kid eating it.
Saying,
Good
"This
child.
cup is the New Testament in my blood. As oft as you drink it,
Wait, this is how AIDS spreads.
Game.
Oh, uh-oh. Okay, I hit her. Come this way.
Call me ugly, child.
Oh no. Oh, okay. This side's blocked.
They're gonna take
Impart my current status. Alive?
Hello.
Oh, there is a very tall
Oh,
thing.
hiya. How?
Don't you mind that?
Rig is on cooldown. Ow, 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 ow,
Oh gosh.
Don't you mind. Leave him on that.
ow. Ow, ow, ow.
Okay, I got it. There you go.
Leave him over. Leave him over. There you go.
Now you can go.
Oh my
Oh my god,
god.
the drill sound is awful.
We did it.
Oh my god.
We've done it.
Gotta be
Whoa,
mine.
Ninu got an A minus.
I got an A minus. What did I do?
It says on the grade page what you did.
Oh. JK collect propaganda poster. What? Coulson received damage. Oh,
Ah, you
lost-
got him.
Oh. Proper.
Oh my god,
Used
I'm
healing
level 4, guys.
successfully.
Or
Oh my god.
Wait, you're only level 4?
I just started this game today.
She's a baby.
It's just a tiny Bobby. Tiny
That's
Bobby.
what we got
doing
from
the
Table when I
tutorial.
found out she's tiny.
Tiny
tiny.
Bobby.
I said Fable, not you.
Oh yeah. Fable is the
But you
worst.
might be tiny.
horror.
Babel's the worst.
She's the
I
worst before
guarantee
out
I'm
of the
taller
three
than
of
all
us.
of you.
She's the shortest, you mean?
Oh yeah, Fable is the shortest.
Oh.
What?
None of you can beat 5'9", I bet.
No, I cannot. Ninu and I are the
My
same height.
passport says 5'5", and that's what I go with.
You're 5'5"?
I just want you to
165 millimeters.
things are
Yeah.
coming. Expect them.
Maybe like a centimeter shorter, but you know, you round it up,
You're all
right?
tiny babies.
But Fable's like actually like 4'2" or whatever.
That's dwarf. That's the height of like dwarfism condition.
But guys, you all call me small, but everybody I talk to, apart from Kara, is smaller than me. Just because, like, Mrs. and Ratchet are taller than me, like, how dare you?
How dare you, chat? How dare you?
Right. I am leveling up all of my rigs.
Oh, the regeneration thing you were talking about is a perk I have to use tickets on.
Oh, yeah, those are good though. The prescriptions, you should unlock all of them because they're all permanent perks and you can equip all of them.
Okay, I'm gonna get the regen.
Yeah, just get every single one that you can.
I can't-
All of them are useful and you can have them all.
Okay, I could only afford one. How do I equip
That's fine.
my
Spend all your
rig
tickets on that when you can.
stuff?
So if you pick tab, you can hit loadout. And that's where you equip everything.
Ah. Why does it say that? Oh, my medicine has to be therapy level 20 to unlock.
What do you mean I
Sure.
need to take the platform boots off? I'm not small! Oh my god.
They're just coping. They're just coping.
Yeah, they are. They're coping because I'm taller than them. They feel like little babies.
Short kings. Short babies. Small.
You can't call them kings, you have to call them princes.
Who needs a little pep?
Peasants. How
Maybe
about
when
that?
they grow up, they can be kings.
Watch out. There.
Imagine them being kings.
How do I collect my dailies?
So yeah, hit tab
Now they'll
and go
respect
to
you.
tasks.
You're in good hands, dear.
You'll have an icon on some of these, they'll tell you. Some of them aren't dailies, they're just like permanent challenges, and then there's dailies and weeklies as well.
Oh, I got a bed.
You got a bed?
And also, what those do is they unlock the stamps, like the little stamp icon,
Yeah.
and you can take those into the catalog. And you can
Oh.
start unlocking stuff in the battle pass in the catalog.
Oh, the back pass.
So you have
Which
to
one's
start on the
battle
most left
pass?
one, and what I discovered is they give you enough of the premium currency to unlock the next one. They give you exactly 1,000. So as long as you don't spend that premium currency, you can get all of the battle passes for free.
Oh.
So just get enough stamps to unlock everything and you'll get everything.
Oh my goodness.
Oh my goodness gracious.
That's where you got the coffee. Oh, I need that. To complete the previous finish line. Oh. Oh.
What am I
the
missing?
gold coins
You feel
do?
targeted. Well, that's because you're tiny, I bet. I bet the 47 is because you're 4'7".
They're just tiny, small, tiny baby.
Heavy and small. I shall
Small. Man, am I gonna end up looking down at you guys? Small, aren't they? Small. More little
very small.
babies. Yeah. Oh, this is
What do I use gold?
this is their height. This is how it feels like being them.
What's with these strays? Look, I'm sorry. I've got to deflect. I've got to deflect. I need this.
I bet you guys are closer to the floor than the ceiling. You get small.
Oh my gosh, Nina's
How do I
being
look
rude
from
to
down
you
there, guys?
No, I am being truthful. Somebody has to say it. Somebody has to do it. In chat, I'm gonna
found
do it for
staff.
you.
I need to kick Nova's ass in arm wrestling. Actually,
Oh,
I don't know.
do we? You can.
I'm
you
looking
can
at my new
do it.
decorations. I'm looking at my new
come here, Nova.
I
Nova.
Let me kick your ass. Come
You
on.
got to
Wait,
do
wait,
it,
wait, wait.
Nova. You got to. Where is he?
I was leaving my room.
Run away.
I'm coming.
Well, hey, Mac.
Shit.
Keep me.
You might actually.
Oh, I'm nervous.
Oh,
This really work.
you have to.
What?
You'll see.
Oh,
Oh,
wait.
oh, wait, that was.
Help me out to play.
You have to hit.
You have to click on when the wheel goes over the icons.
Yeah.
But what color?
Oh,
the
first
red
white.
one's the best, but
Yeah.
the white one sometimes pops up if you're doing well.
Yeah, first you
white
gotta
one's
get the
better.
white one, and then you have to get the red ones.
Oh.
Oh my god.
Wait.
You'll get it. You'll get it. You'll get it.
This is fine.
Oh no.
He-
Eh.
Oh, there you go. You got one.
Eh.
Oh, you're surviving.
Oh man.
Never mind.
Surviving, she says. Oh my goodness.
He's doing all bad beasties.
Huh.
Fine, I'll
do.
stop kicking your ass.
Uh,
We could have done chess, but I'm
Hello?
worse at that.
Hey. Hello.
I'm
How
really
you
bad
doing?
at chess.
Hello, Frank. You all right there?
How you doing?
Nova, now kick her ass in chess. You literally have seen me play chess and told me to my face I'm bad at it. Okay, chat, you don't make me embarrass myself.
Which one did we do? We didn't do this one. Right, we're picking up where me and Ninu left off.
Oh, this part.
It's not much farther than you just did, so if you survive the one that we did, then you'll be
Patrol is
fine.
ready. Please proceed to the shuttle.
Get in the shuttle. Hey,
Please step into the trial shuttle.
bye.
You're not terrible, you're great. Yeah, you're great at getting your ass
Aw,
kicked.
thank you, chat. Thanks.
No, it's good to be
No,
good at
maybe
something,
I'm gonna
right?
give you this silent treatment for like 30 seconds, okay?
No,
That's how
no!
upset I am. I just,
I'm sorry, Nova.
I'm just being an asshole. I like being an asshole.
no, it's okay.
Why is my screen not lined up with my face?
You are
Ow.
the shepherd.
Where
who would
can
I'm not
save
lined up with the chair
Cool
properly. I'm not
lambs
sitting
from
properly.
mother.
Oh,
Deliver them
terrible
I'm gonna fall out of the
to
ride.
grace of the church.
Oh no.
no.
And they will let you out.
They say they're gonna let us out, Nova.
Oh,
We're gonna get out.
let's go.
I'm gonna see my
Eventually.
21 kids. Oh, hi.
Hello, you have 21 kids?
Yeah, cats.
Man, no, those hips don't lie, clearly.
They fall off the sky.
Yeah, well, you got Tim to blame for the fire alarm being 500 bits, okay? I warned him, and I warned him, and I warned him.
Down detection gate. Be quiet at the gate. Gather the
upset as well,
children
so
of God. Children of God.
Now, I've never done this one, I don't think. I think this one's new to me.
Oh.
so I don't actually know where to go on.
Put the children in the van.
Hey, wait, did Nina get
What kind of
shoes?
simulator?
Yeah.
What the fuck?
I got shoes. Do you like it?
Whoa.
You
I
like
have
what she's-
shoes.
Do you...
Wait, what's the
They're
tag?
really
you have on?
cute.
Yeah, I
You got a
don't know.
barcode on your crotch.
I do. You can buy
Does that mean
me.
I can buy your dick?
Yes. You can buy one and get one free.
How much? I'll take your entire stock.
Oh my god! I want candy.
Candy? Oh, what is this kid? Oh, this kid doing? What is? Oh, that was you. Balloons.
There's a rig recharge thing in here.
Oh, I found a mine staffy.
Wow.
I'm on cooldown right now.
I also found bricks.
And the bricks are very good. You should always hold a brick.
Oh, I made a man fall over again.
Oh, okay.
That's okay.
That's the mine that
He's
you're
only
talking
dead.
about.
Why'd it close? Oh, we have to be quiet.
Oh yeah.
That's
Not again. Not this child.
Which to unlock?
Not the
What?
child, not again. What's he doing? It's a real person he's stomping on.
Yeah.
It's the poopy child.
So what do we do with the child?
Kill it.
We have to unlock him with a switch.
Alright, let's follow the cord.
Oh, there's a button here.
Oh,
Can I
that's a
press
good
it?
idea. I didn't think about that.
What does it do? I pressed the button. Did something happen on the other side?
What kind of button?
Oh wait,
red
did you
one.
press the button?
Oh, well, yeah, I pressed the button. The button's gone now. Yeah, we
Okay,
have to
well
take
that was
this
the
child with
child's
us.
button.
Oh, you got him. You got him.
Go bring him to the van of free candy.
Where's the van?
Oh, yeah, but we can't.
Over
because
here.
He's probably too loud to go through the door.
Oh, okay. Shut up, kid.
Sneaky. Yeah,
Brother.
there you go.
Okay, where's the van?
Oh, we passed
I'm
it.
bobbed up.
Don't make me go in the van.
Oh boy. Oh boy.
Then
that was
please
right in
not
the
in the van. Oh, hi. Oh!
He tried to burn me, motherfucker.
I open the door.
Open
Open
your
the door.
door. Oh fuck.
Oh gosh, why is it hot?
They really messed
He's
up.
so loud, I can't get through the door. Ah!
No.
Wait, if a door has a little red thing, does that mean it's booby trapped?
I think so, yeah. You can open the door slowly though. If you press and hold, you'll open it slowly and it won't set off the trap.
No, I don't. Wait. Oh, lady gone.
Okay, we got 3 more children to find.
Whoa! Wait,
Oh.
What did you just find?
I just heard a voice line. I went. Oh. Wait, I have to be quiet. I think.
No, you don't
Was
have
he
to be quiet. The
friendly?
game doesn't have your voices in.
Oh. Okay, yeah. I just heard her
You're
be
fine,
like,
you're fine,
"Oh,
you're fine."
daddy. I mean, doctor, whatever."
Oh.
Guys, you heard it. Clip it and ship it.
No, they have
Flip it
so
and ship
many
it.
clips.
Can you add it to my Tangia, please?
Oh, daddy.
Feel like we're not home.
I found the child.
What are you talking about? We're in the studio. We're in the magic of television.
That's what I mean.
Like we're not
Nina's
there.
carrying us right now. Ah!
Why do you have yellow itchy
Children
boy?
don't seem the same.
Because I got grabbed.
Oh wait, I found a child.
Fine,
There's a
that's
child
magic.
landing.
Oh, I gotta. Oh, you gotta switch off the child.
Over and over.
I'm following the wire.
Turn the child off right now. Oh,
yeah,
that's
but there's a
interesting.
hacking bad lady there.
That's interesting.
I hear a ticking noise.
Are you people shying me saying, "Oh, daddy"?
Oh, daddy.
Oh.
I didn't know you guys were into that.
I missed a button. I turned the child off.
Ain't no way I have to go
I
this
can
other
get
way.
The child then, I guess.
Oh!
Yeah. If you want to get it, then I can keep looking for the other ones.
Got it.
Oh, fuck off! I got drilled! That's
Why
Oh!
are you guys
Wow, okay.
so fast with those sound bites? Oh my
Okay, oh my god, how many ladies? There's only one of me. Oh god, wait, I need to stop bleeding. How do I stop bleeding?
There's only one of me.
Oh, I think this told me go get in here. So rude.
Oh, it's a ducky.
So rude.
A ducky.
Abian, could you add it to mine too? I want to hear it.
You just heard it.
No, I didn't hear it.
I said
need
it
to
on this call just now.
Oh, he's after me.
Oh, it's a ducky.
Oh! Hi, Staffy. Oh fuck.
Yes, is not a good place to be, is it?
No. Okay, there's a child on the other side. I have turned the child on or off. I don't know what it is.
You can get
On
the
the other
child now.
Oh,
side, right?
Yeah. Okay, that's
Hello.
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 I was testing to see if the door
I'm
was
America.
free.
Oh, you guys don't know that one?
What one?
America. No, you don't know it. No,
Fine,
you
oh,
find out.
daddy.
Fine.
Oh,
Just my
Abion,
brain.
thank you.
Fine.
Oh,
Fine.
daddy.
Triple? Another one?
Abby,
it
now
again.
do me.
It's no saying, oh, daddy. Twice.
Oh, daddy.
I found another child.
Get that one too.
Okay, can I?
Ding.
I'll gotta like mark it for later.
Sir. Mr. Flamethrower.
What is she doing? Oh my goodness.
I
Okay.
found the one you unlocked here.
You found him?
Yeah, I
Hey.
found.
Shit, no way you did not see me. Parkour! Safe this side.
Oh, exploded. Ah!
Oh, it is. It's safe. Hi. Oh. Nova, you need help there? Oh shit! Wait, why is she there?
I'm coming over. You're on a corpse.
Oh hi! Oh wow, okay, I'm sandwiched.
Can I watch?
No. It's not pleasant. It's not pleasant. It's
Okay, I pressed the button for the
I
child.
just have a fucking thing. I'm on my way, Nova.
it's
fine.
Oh,
you're fine.
Daddy.
A little more
Hi.
time rushing at
It's
this
this way.
We need a lot less
Oh,
time.
daddy.
Oh, wait, I thought you were doing a cop thing still.
Oh, no. There's a child next to the sus lady.
Thank you,
Ah, you got it.
Auntie.
You got it.
Alright, how do I get to the lobby?
We just have to get out now, yeah?
I don't think anybody.
Okay, let me get a drink.
Lead the way, Nova. You got here.
Oh, there's a monster thing right there.
Thank you so very
I'm trapped behind the gate. I can't help you.
Can this guy shut up?
This way. Oh, I see what's happening. The shorties showed up.
Are you good, Staffy?
I'm good. Ow. Shorty Fable showed up.
Sup,
You
Fable?
guys didn't notice.
Yeah, no, they ignored me.
Oh, Fable, I hear you! Hello! I'm sorry, there's loud noises.
That was one of the loud noises.
Hey.
Oh, ow.
Yeah, just quickly want to stop
Did you
by
want to
and
join
look
us, Fable?
I'm probably going to do something.
You know, did you pee again?
Ah,
I
okay.
wanted to stop in and say hi to you guys.
Hello.
Hello.
I survived the heat. Are you proud of me?
Oh, I'm so happy.
Was
Yeah,
it
we
really
are.
hot?
You must have hydrated and everything.
We did hard?
Hard, but it didn't. Yeah, it was
Ow.
like...
She's, wait, do we need Ninu?
I don't know the way
We do
out.
need Ninu, but she's gonna have like 20 seconds.
20 seconds? I'm directionally challenged.
120 seconds, sorry.
Welcome to the Family Jelly Kitten 13.
Okay, I'm definitely not going the right way.
You'll make it, I believe.
I definitely not gonna make it.
You have 2
You'll make
minutes
it.
and
You're getting
46.
there. You're coming towards us.
Okay.
Just like head to the open space in the.
Fable managed to remain solid and not turn into a puddle.
I mean,
Well, we
I
don't know
am
if she's
puddle,
in a
but
puddle or not.
I survived.
Are you shirtless again?
What? Again?
Whoa. Yeah, Fable was shirtless for our entire stream.
Okay, there's a woman there.
I see your name, Ninu.
I made it. Jellykin, thank you.
Hello.
Hello,
See, it
it's
wasn't that bad.
me. It's me.
Staffy, you're the only one who didn't get a B+.
That's crazy.
I know, I'm terrible.
Weren't you the one that carried like 3 of the bodies?
Yeah, I was, but I also got hit a fuck ton.
Oh dang. Yeah, you
We
guys are
interrupt
covered
our
in
program
blood.
to bring you this important message.
Hi,
I
Sabarex.
love you. Now back to our show.
Fable lives,
Hello.
yes. Is it gonna be better for you tomorrow, Fable?
Let me...
Evaluation.
Yeah, tomorrow's gonna be way better. Tomorrow's only going to be 23.
Hell yeah.
I'm taking the day off tomorrow, so hopefully it's nice and cool and I can just kind of like rest from it.
Yeah, be nice. I'm gonna go eat my yogurt, alright? You guys have
Yogurt?
fun.
Enjoy putting the thick white stuff in
Now
your
you
mouth.
I
Fable.
will. I love you
Lovely.
guys.
Love you. Too.
Bye
Bye.
bye.
Bye. Bye forever. Bye forever.
Goodbye forever, don't die.
It sounds
Let's see
Zoe.
what's in the medicine cabinet. Sometimes I see Dr. Easterman by the coffee urn or
The
the water
French
cooler,
nurse.
and I linger.
Well,
I pour a little extra sugar in my coffee
French
and
nurse?
stir it slowly.
that's what she's reading.
Sign
I'm
me
not nosy, just curious. Dr. Easterman was so upset by the news he heard out of Korea Some of our
Moida.
boys
Actually, I'll
came
take a
out
German nurse. A
changed,
German nurse
like they
sounds
were
hard.
different people. And Easterman thought, well, if you can change people for the worse, why couldn't you change
I'm
them
gonna
for
kick
the
this guy's
better?
ass. I'm
I
gonna kick
think
this guy's
it's
ass.
so important to be optimistic. I guess by now you've seen some of the earlier candidates for the
Damn.
therapy.
You know,
Gooseberry,
they should make
Oh, fuck.
nurses wear pretty clothes again. Wouldn't you just feel so much better?
I was stuck in the hospital as a kid when that was the thing.
Really?
Oh.
Oh, hell yeah.
I was.
I mean, hell yeah to the outfit, not hell yeah.
Oh, he wants a rematch, okay? I got Tweeget. I got Tweeget.
Why does my room keep changing locations?
Oh, because it's like everybody gets a room, even the people you're not in a group with.
Yeah. There are other people.
I'm arm wrestling one of them right now.
Are you
I'm a second class citizen. I'm not on the top level with you guys.
Don't do that. It's disgusting. The way the world bosses
Oh my god, this is going forever.
What if you aren't
Oh
what
my
they
god,
say
this is
you
intense.
are? What if they're afraid? Because they know you're
One of our arms is
special,
gonna break, I swear.
just like I do.
What do you mean? Oh my god.
I got him!
Hands do make my ass look good.
Whoa,
Oh, he wants another rematch. Oh god.
beat him up.
I'm doing it.
Wait, guys, I gotta pee really quick. Is that okay?
Do it, do it.
Yeah.
It's louder for us.
Okay.
No,
Be
but
right
did
back.
you pee yourself? Oh, did he lose?
Go Nova! Go piss girl!
He lost every single time.
What a loser.
Fable had to show up for Nova to tits.
Yeah.
I need support to support.
He's
Nova.
He's gotta do it.
You're really not helping the whole piss fetish thing.
I think I should be leaving.
No, Ninu, stop peeing.
I'm not peeing. It's not me. It's Nova.
But Nova is.
Nova's peeing. But
I always support Nova when she's peeing. It's not a fetish, it's friendship.
It's kind of a fetish.
Trust the therapy.
no more
Breaking my
Reaper.
head.
When
Taking
can
it
I
out of
go
my delicious
home?
lunch.
Wait, is that a lollipop? Oh, that's a cigarette. I was eating a lollipop there.
That's a weird mistake to make. I guess you do suck on both of them.
Piss well, Nova. I'm
Yes.
going down.
Who you are in the trial is who you are inside.
Oh, what the hell? Who lives here? No, wait, somebody does live here.
Let's see.
What? Whoa.
That's crazy looking.
Oh,
You've got a
wow, cool.
greenhouse.
Nice bodies. There's a head here.
Oh my god. Is that a oh my god, that's a severed penis.
Wait, what? That's a head.
But you're not supposed to look at
It's a head.
that's a head, but on the other side is a penis.
I don't see it. Maybe because I have the sensor.
You see that?
It's right there.
You see that?
It doesn't look much like a penis because it's cut off.
Oh. I guess I don't know how peepees look like.
Okay, I returned with a cat and candy.
I'm in the wrong place.
Should we just stand here?
Also, thank you, Fable.
Oh,
I really appreciate
hold up a second, guys. BRB.
Oh yeah.
Thanks, Nyagri Kitty. Those are two different things. What, my cat and the candy? Yes, they're two different things. Hi. Stefari, what's happening?
I guess we're alone now.
Whoa. You have lovely eyes.
Hi, Mom.
What?
Oh,
What?
No, aw, you put the ass away.
Oh my god. The ass is still here.
Right, you can stay in your room alone then, you're grounded.
Oh. Yeah.
Man, that was such a big thing for parents. They're like, oh, we can't ground our kids anymore, because they're like, okay, I've got my game console in here.
Go outside, Jimmy.
You're grounded, go outside for the rest of the day.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll play Pokemon Go.
No, Jimmy.
Did you hydrate, Nova? She was pissing, so she
Oh.
was probably drinking a piss, you know?
No, I have to hydrate.
Ah, man, Gamer Subs is so tasty. It's a danger. I actually had to work out like how
How's it
much of
work
it
out?
I'm allowed to drink in a day so I don't overdo it on the caffeine.
Oh yeah.
Because it just tastes so good. Like, you don't feel like you're drinking caffeine.
Do you have your own flavor, or do you have like a flavor you usually buy?
No, I don't have a flavor. I drink either anime girl thighs or titty milk. I actually have both of them on my desk right now. You've gotta sell a lot of Gamer Subs to get your own flavor.
Mm-hmm.
We're planning on it, but you know, it's gonna take a while. I think Ninu's pissing.
I'm back.
She's pissing in this dude's room.
Wait, no, don't leave me with this weirdo. Ah!
You're lucky with that weirdo!
Oopsies.
Right, next one. We're going to a different place that you've not been to.
Oh, the fun part. I've been to this place.
Ah, okay. We're going to a different place you've not been to recently.
It's gonna be spooky.
What do you mean? Exclamation mark.
Please enter the shuttle.
Wait, no,
Nino
I
has a
haven't
Superman.
pooped.
No, not code Stabby. Code Stay There. Or Safari as another website.
Where would you like to sit?
My Gamer Subs name would be. I think we did.
In your lap, use it first.
Okay. Your room of high-end dining.
I think
One
we're
of
gonna do
slaps.
Nebula Nectar or
What?
something.
We can't until Nova gets into the actual show.
Oh, sorry. I'm
you can
sorry.
shut my lap
I'm
now.
sorry. I was yelling.
Oh, mean.
I have to sit opposite, goddamn.
So far away.
I feel isolated.
No.
Only Fable were next to me.
No.
People could
You
have
are
sat
an
next
adult.
to you.
The youth
Oh, God.
will not obey
Did you
our
guys
orders
see
and
what me and
must be
Fable played
corrected.
yesterday?
There are
That's
children
like
it was some Space
murdering
game,
adults
right?
in the root canal.
Yeah,
Punish
it was actually a lot of
children,
fun. I want to do that with
and
more
we
people.
will let you
Wait,
out.
you guys didn't play Pete?
No, we played Voice Crew.
Oh, Void
Yeah,
Crew!
I was out all day yesterday.
Oh, yes. Lappy got me that game.
It's like Sea of Thieves, but with
Bob's. I got a new space.
I got a
Yay.
new face, hell yeah.
Yay. I like space.
I like Fable.
I like space.
I felt like Fable didn't enjoy it. I felt like it was like, I don't know, I felt like it was not Fable's kind of game. I felt bad.
Oh, it's okay.
I was really enjoying it.
Fine. Fable can. She's just happy to hang out with people. Doesn't
Yeah.
matter what you're playing.
We can force her to like it.
Yeah, just like I forced her to play so
I'll
much
force you
Marvel
to like
Rivals
it.
with me.
Just like how I got Nova to play Uber with me.
And
now she
and
wants
now
to.
she's a fucking addict.
She's an
Yeah, I am.
addy.
I gotta finish the battle pass stuff. You don't understand because then I can get the pretty fox skin.
Lost, thank you for the whole 2 years.
Those frownies off
Thank you, thank you,
and
thank you.
make some adjustments.
We're in a fun part.
Yeah. Yeah, I remember this place.
It's so
Was
much
it
fun.
nice?
You'll enjoy it.
Root canal this way. Oh my goodness. Reach the root canal.
To reach the
Yes!
root canal ride.
I was already on my way.
No, I don't want.
No. Do I get a
Trap
Do I have to
store.
get a ticket? Or
Oh, okay.
You will have to get a
Gato.
ticket, but you're not on the
Gato.
ride.
2 years being pain in your butt.
make my money worth it? No, but wait, what are you talking about? What did I do?
Oh, he's talking about the battle pass.
Oh yeah, okay.
Oh, right.
I was so worried. He was like
Make
talking
my
about
money
his
worth
sub
it.
to my channel or something, and I was like, oh.
Make it worth it, Nova. Make it worth
Oh
it.
god.
Like the rudest shit.
I was so worried. But Frank couldn't say that to me. I forgot that he bought me the battle pass. I'm sorry. I was like so confused why you would be so rude to me.
Right, you need to open this door, Nova.
Do.
Nova. I
Do I
spent
have
all
to
that
open
money
this
on
door?
you,
What
Nova.
door?
You do.
Nova, I spent all that
Read the
money
text
on you.
again.
I wanna go on the
First.
ride.
Oh.
I wanna go on the ride.
Throw organs at target. Okay.
Oh, can't go on the ride? I'm sad. Can I get popcorn?
Oh, I see. They're here. Oh my god. My bad.
Yeah, there you go.
No popcorn?
I was just trying to make you aware, you know? Woo! Yeah!
Oh my goodness.
Ninu, catch up.
Yeah. Oh, I like zoned out and then I was just looking for popcorn and trying to ride the ride.
I just
I'm going to
can't
fetch this
stop.
Okay, I see.
There's a woman there.
Scary
Ooh,
one.
I remember there being brains in here. Oh, the
No,
heart.
it's hearts, not brains, but yeah. Right, so this is the map to what we need to do.
And
You see all of these tickets we need to find?
oh yeah, I remember finding tickets.
Oh, red ones left.
Oh, that monkey.
I'm bad at these.
There you go.
Hey, nice.
Oh.
I wanted to eat.
You have to go around the back to get it.
Oh, spooky person coming. Hello.
You stole a ticket, how dare you?
Well, I won that game.
It's Ninu's ticket now.
Okay, look, it's
Oh wait, no,
it's
you
not
stole it.
my
You-
fault.
You both have like the same hair, it keeps confusing you.
I'm sorry.
I changed my hair, made it even shorter.
How dare you? Oh,
Yeah. There's a poop head guy around.
Oh, whoa, you can jump high. What the frick? He just did a vault. What?
Yeah.
I'm stunning him for you, it's fine.
Oh, thanks.
Well, you guys dead.
Oh, can I get these? I want these on my shelf. How do I get these on my shelf in my room?
You probably can, honestly. Almost all of the props are like stuff you can unlock.
Oh no 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 no!
Right, that way, okay.
I didn't. Oh no. Wait, this one's ours.
Here's one of them. I need stuff to throw. Hold up.
I love that I just jumped and landed on the broken glass.
Oh, you guys see this place?
You see nothing.
Yeah, I got it.
Thank you.
Hi. Huh? That stabbed me.
He stabbed you?
Come on, guys. Oh god. There's a man who's beating me up.
Oh, it's okay.
You're okay. You're fine. Everything's fine. Oh, there's a
Probably
woman
deserve it,
there.
you know?
Woman.
I just watched you get hit by something right as you said this, Steffi.
Yeah, you brought the man up with me.
There was another man.
Wow, guys, isn't this
Okay.
horrifying looking rabbit? Is it even a rabbit?
Had a paper cut, I know.
It's 25p. I don't think I'll
It's like double the price of a Freddo.
Oh my god.
Alfredo? Wait, what's happening?
It's
A Freddo. You wouldn't know what a Freddo is, I'm sure.
it's chocolate in the UK.
It's an old British chocolate, and we use it to judge the fucking
Economy.
the inflation.
Yeah.
Ow.
Nah. The Fredo inflation index. Yeah.
Right, we just need the balls in the bucket game now.
Balls in the bucket.
Balls in the bucket. It's right in the corner. That one over there, you see? What are you two doing? Go back to the beginning.
Am I at the beginning? Oh, Nova.
Yeah, you're
Come here.
back to the.
Come here, Nova. Come over here.
I would never.
I'm direction challenged. I'm holding it, Nova. I'm holding it up
I
for
was
you.
confused.
I can clearly you were confused.
Listen,
Okay,
I want
where's
it some
the-
time. I go where my heart takes me. My heart says that this place is no bueno to be in.
Oh, it's here.
I need one more thing to throw up there.
Yeah, one more heart. Woman.
Yoink! I stole it.
There's a woman there.
You're whammy.
Wait, hold up. Can I hit woman with heart?
That you can. It doesn't really do anything though.
Oh.
I got the ticket.
Oh, I closed the door
An
now.
angry see. Oh.
Open the door. It's
Open
dog.
the door.
Open the door.
Ow, you just made me intoxicated.
I did. Incredible.
Nino, this way.
Yay! Let me in.
Is it your favorite duck?
No. Open the door. Looks like it's 35p as of March. Really? Damn.
I guess we're watching this.
Nino looks so pretty.
I want to get on the ride.
Sure? Are you seeing what the last guy riding looks like?
Wait. Let me get on the ride. No, I want to be on the ride.
Oh, we can push it.
What the hell? I can't ride it.
Not only can you push it, you have to push it.
Yeah, I remember there being fire here.
You remember fire? Is that what you remember? Okay, we have to unlock this.
Ooh, disarming. I'm disarming it now. I disarmed something. Did it work?
I'm not sure.
This one. The first one isn't.
Oh, okay. There's another. Maybe on the opposite side.
That's my life raptor.
I'm trying my best.
You are. I appreciate you trying your best. I just like having company.
I just get so lost so easily. Oh, look, shiny.
That's okay. I'm used to people getting lost.
Oh, woman! Woman!
I'm helping you.
Woman, naked woman, naked. She's naked. Oh. Oh, this. Here we go. Here's the disarming gate. I think maybe I got it.
Right there.
Got it.
Oh shit.
Fuck!
I did warn you.
Naked!
I didn't know you were warning me.
I'm scrambling.
Oh, what is that? I have a problem.
I got you.
Oh my god. Oh my god. They're everywhere. They're everywhere.
I got you
oh
as best as I can get you.
Get me out of here.
I'm scrambling his head for you. I'm scrambling his head for you.
Go away.
Get me out of here!
I made him puke.
Get me out of here!
Go away.
Oh, this looks... I can't touch it.
Okay. I'm finishing here.
Oh, see! I knew it! There's fire, guys!
Hi, Meow.
Hello?
Hello?
Oh my god, why is another person coming out here?
Oh man, really?
Oh, ouchie!
Are you
Time to
dead?
go again.
Ooh.
Ah! God fucking damn it.
Mel, thank you so much for the follow. Happy to have you here. I'm
Yo,
struggling.
Mill. Mill's great.
It's in here, but I already got the one that's in here.
Where's...
So you see where the boat is.
Oh wait, this is
So the camera comes over here, in here, through here,
This pizza. This is just sweets.
through here. Yeah, I found it. I found the last one.
Aim
Yay!
pushing.
Yay! See, fire! Fire!
Oh.
Oh, no, that.
What am I helping somebody with?
Yeah.
Oh, here you go.
I can help you guys up here. Look, jump, 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 jump. Oh, jumping, jump, jump, jumping.
Jump!
Turn around and jump.
I have jump. Yay!
More
Oh.
genius. Not much. We're just chilling and playing.
Welcome to my closet.
I heard a ducky.
Oh, yeah, that.
Ow, ducky. Ah, that's a fake Nova.
Her name's spelled wrong. Oh, here we go. One disarmed.
Okay, nice. Where's the other? The other goes.
Oh,
Up
gosh.
here. And round there. There you go. There you go. You got it.
Oh, you did it.
Should we do the Spaceball movies? Oh yeah, I'm sorry, I forgot about that. We should do that.
Oh, yeah. That's a movie I'm supposed to watch with you guys, right?
It's for movies.
Yes.
No, it's just a movie for now. Just the one movie.
Oh, okay. Okay. I don't think. Oh,
Have you seen the sequel to Spaceballs coming out?
That's why we wanted to watch it for Discord movie night.
have I pressed?
Including who haven't seen it.
Nova, you're wandering off. Hold on.
Are you guys moving the
I
thingy?
thought we had to go to the
See over here.
Oh.
Yeah, but you have to follow the pipe.
We not like
See the
move
colored
it
pipes?
fast.
Oh.
We need to get all 4 pipes on.
Wait, did you guys
Pick a
move?
pipe and follow it.
Wait, where's the?
Which ones are you guys gonna do then?
Where's the thing gone?
Fucking lost.
Is it gone all the way back? Wait,
I think I found A already.
you guys pushed it all the way there. Okay.
Hold on, what the fuck is that?
Whoa, you guys actually pushed it all the way down here. Oh, what are these? A.
Yeah, we're doing the pipes down here. You see the pipes on the wall next to it?
Yeah.
Wait, I found where the red and
Pick
green
a pipe,
pipes
follow
end.
it, and then it'll lead you to a valve.
Oh.
Ow. Oh god, I've made myself drugged. Oh.
That's
Oh,
silly.
No, no.
No.
Well, how am I supposed to know what the values are supposed to be?
Have I done it?
It's just full. You just need it to be full.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
Ah, jeez. I saw.
I see. I did a
bad
noopsie.
scene.
I did noopsie.
Oh, Nina's stabbing me. Oh god.
Gosh, I saw Slenderman.
That's not Nina then.
Hey, no. Nova, it's me. Come on out, Nova. Okay, I'll hide in the next one next to you. Hi, Nova. It's me.
Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness.
Here you go. Is this helping you? See, I gave you health.
Oh, you did?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, thank you.
She's so generous.
Mm-hmm. Slenderman is around.
There's Slenderman in this game? My husband?
The weird things that you see. Oh my god! I pressed the right button! This thing is a liar.
It's a liar.
It's lying. It's lying.
I may have triggered a guy to scream.
Okay. When am I gonna see the weird guy? No pressure. No pressure.
I'm turning a valve.
No pressure, that's the issue.
Oh, hi, woman. Come. Oh.
So many fake valves would be.
Oh my goodness.
Nova, I'm hiding in this one. I'm sorry, it's occupied.
That's okay. That's okay. I don't need help.
Occupied. Right, we just need cedering now. I finally have some defense again.
Oh my fucking god. I'm just seeing a man running at me.
We just need red.
Yeah.
It wouldn't run at you, Ninu.
Slenderman.
Oh, it's fire.
Hi, Lee. Okay. Come chase me. Tentacles! Oh wait, tentacles can actually hurt me?
Yeah, they can.
Oh, I found it. Ain't no way.
Oh, you found it?
No. Wow. Oh god, I'm so dead. I'm gonna hide in this corner. Am I being drilled?
Do you feel like you're being drilled?
I think so.
Well, yeah. I'd hope you'd feel it if you were being drilled. It's very sad if you're being drilled and you don't feel it.
Hey, did you do the lifty thingy? Or like the spinny, whatever? Get the
At full sanity, I'm fully insane.
Oh my god, I stabbed myself.
You probably shouldn't do that.
I am positively positive that I am insane.
That's okay, you'll not.
Oh. I'm
I
doing
think I will. Wait. Let me in! Here we go.
Oh god.
Okay, clearly wrong button again.
Oh.
I might not
I
press
found the last
A.
valve.
I might
Are
not.
you guys getting caught out by the fake ones?
I'm doing so good.
There are fake valves?
Yeah, there are fake valves as well. You have to follow the pipe because there's like a bunch
Wow,
of random ones that are the same color.
Okay. Yeah, I didn't pay attention.
That's okay. You don't need to pay attention.
I struggle with that.
Oh my god, Nina's being loved.
Oh my god. What is that?
What is
Oh,
love? Baby, don't hurt
I
me.
think I'm so high.
Don't hurt me.
No more.
There's a bunch of
Oh, you know.
It says I'm full health. I just need to
You are
get rid of
full
this like hostess thing.
Oh, well, let's see if there's any
There you go. I did it on purpose. Oh my god, they're going in. Are you guys want to see this? Want to see the action?
Somebody, what are you doing?
You want to see them?
Oh, yeah.
What?
No, but
This spot.
oh, you're about to get fucked up over there.
Yeah.
Oh boy.
Oh,
there's a fire guy in there. Shit.
Oh, fucking hell. I'm getting Cthulhu'd again.
Actually.
Yeah, we
I'm
gotta
being
keep pushing.
Cthulhu'd.
She's gonna keep trying to stop us.
No!
Go through here.
Bro, why is he still there?
The children are dead.
Yay!
Oh boy.
Right, ladies,
oh
time
boy.
to leave.
Oh boy. Oh, thank you.
I got you.
I'm directionally challenged. Oh, hi. Isn't it that way?
No, it's not that way. It's this way.
Oh.
You just follow
No.
Hey, Amelia.
Yeah, up shit way. No, follow the oiders. And the
This
cavities.
is that awful fucking ride, by the way.
Yeah, I don't really approve.
Oh! Can I go through here?
No. That's about it.
For science! Oh, it's fine.
You could have went that way, but
Okay, it's definitely not this way.
ladies, you've just gone back to where we were.
Okay.
This way.
Hiya. Okay, that kind of
Try
hurt.
not to get hit by it though, yeah.
Oh man.
I might be bleeding on this
This way.
side.
It's a little bit.
Oh, are you bleeding? Oh, I'm so sorry.
Come.
I thought I could give you medicine. I need to close the door.
Oh my god.
It was an accident.
Sorry, she's trying to kill me.
That was an accident.
Out we go.
It was an accident.
Watch out,
Accidents
this
happen.
is gonna be here. There she is.
I'ma touch it. I touched it. Oh.
You touched it. Nice.
Yeah. Wow, she's after you. Hey, lady.
Yeah, she is.
Come on, lady.
It's ready. Oh no.
Oh shit, I can't get out. Wait,
Time to go.
darkness.
No run.
Get in, get in.
Okay.
Oh, they made
Daddy wants to
it.
Oh boy.
Hey, we got beetles.
Oh, thank you so much, Mommy Fox, for the follow.
Hi, Nat.
Yeah, Mommy Fox. Mommy
That's who
Fox
you
called
thought
me
my alt
baby girl.
account was, right?
Yeah.
You thought that was my alt account.
Yeah. They called me baby girl, and I was like, wait, is it Nova?
Yeah, Nina told me how to call, like, were you in my chat on an alt account earlier? It's just, 'cause they called her something I call her.
Maida.
And Mommy Fox.
I get a new face. What is this face reward?
Wait, you got a face? Oh, it's probably a profile picture.
Oh.
Is it Fable Mommy Fox? No, she's a deer.
She's a parrot.
She's a mother deer.
Hi, baby girl. See?
Baby girl. See?
Yeah, I'm really talented, Ninu, and I'm typing on my alt account while playing this game with you.
I knew it.
So that's why you suck, because you're still browsing Twitch.
Well, I'll have you know that I've been getting a B average.
The average is pretty good. I'll take it.
Yeah.
Passing grade, yep.
Yeah.
That's better than I did in school, okay?
Marty Pains.
Let's make you better.
Yes, Mom.
If your heart explodes,
Mother
be
dearest,
sure to
exactly.
tell a doctor. Come back soon.
Fable is the deer that births foxes. I kinda don't want to think about that, actually.
And dogs, actually. And I think she has a
And
horse.
dogs?
Yes, she's made a dog VTuber, and a deer
Ah.
VTuber.
Okay. That makes sense. Googles, new goggles.
Alright. I think I'm good for like cool 1 or 2 more.
Ay.
How do I set a profile picture?
It's on the mirror. It's you press the identity button instead of the appearance button.
Good night. You know chess?
No.
Me too.
Yeah, you don't really. If it tells you where they all go, then potentially.
Me too, and then she just pulls out like the best fucking chess moves.
Oh.
Even, I don't know, even when I know what they do, it's just, it's not.
I'm really bad at chess, don't worry.
I don't know what I'm doing. I can step on like all of them. I can step on
Okay, that
all
was bad,
the
yeah.
all the colors.
Step on all the things. Yeah, you can.
I didn't even know.
The rules are kind of set in stone, so you can only really place it where like the thing highlights.
Yeah, so each piece has like a different way that it can move, and you can
Wow.
move them all over.
Yeah, so the pawns only can take things diagonally.
Which ones are the pawns?
So they can only move forwards. The pawns are the little ones, the one you're grabbing.
Oh.
They can only move forwards, but if they want to take a piece, they can only do it diagonal.
Oh, wow. That's a lot of things to memorize. Oh, with this.
Yeah, it is. That's why chess is like a complicated thing.
Nobody's got time for that.
Ain't nobody got
Anyways,
time for that.
I have time for that.
Did I just let you win?
No, you
You
can't
win
let somebody
when-
win, but I did take your queen.
What the hell? I have a queen?
Dude, not anymore, you don't.
He's dead.
Basically, Staffy wins
She's
once
dead.
she captures your king.
Which one is my king? This guy?
That tall one you just moved.
That one
yeah.
you're moving, yeah.
Oh shit.
This has gotten intense already.
Oh man. Oh man.
Yum. Yum. Where can I move this?
So yeah, you only get 5 minutes of thinking time.
Chat, who do we think's gonna win?
I have to think.
No, well, you don't have to, but it's generally advisable.
Really, can I? Oh, I can do that. Where can I move this guy?
You have
I
another
just like
spectator on
suiciding
the
all of
chess
my
game.
pieces, basically.
I have no idea what I'm doing.
You're capturing a lot of her stuff.
Yeah, because I'm really bad at chess.
Me too. I've never won a game of chess in my life.
What if I just? Why is it?
Staff Grandmaster? Nope. It's red because I can take your king next turn, so you have to stop that happening or you lose.
Oh, did I stop it from happening?
Yeah, you did.
You did, because you moved it out of the way.
I can move this all the way here. What? I can? For what purpose?
For what purpose?
I can't get this one. Oh, we're both horses. Okay. Oh shit. Okay.
No. Yeah?
I thought I can go diagonal. I'm being lied to.
I think that's only when you're about to capture a piece with the pawns.
Yeah.
Wait, what do I... What? I don't get this.
I have you on
Oh,
the
you
ropes
get
now.
this. What you did, kill me!
I'm gonna take advantage of Ninu's lack of knowledge of the game for a second.
What the hell? A boost.
A boost.
A boost, man. That's a
I
boost,
didn't actually
man.
see that happening, actually.
I didn't see that happening either. Can I get that? Oh, fuck.
No, the king can only move one at a time.
Wow, king is a loser.
Yeah, exactly.
What the hell?
That's why you want to protect him.
I was really hoping you wouldn't notice that.
Oh, I can't go
Nope,
there.
can't take it diagonally. Oh, shit.
Ah! Ninu's got you!
Oh wait, I can't go anywhere with this. Oh, damn it.
Nina, you
What-
can
what
take
is
her
this,
with the
by the way?
castle thingy. You can take her with the castle thingy. It just has to be on the same line.
Like this? This?
Like on this. Yeah.
Yeah, then I can do that.
Uh-oh.
You talk.
Sorry.
You talk. You talk, kid. How am I supposed to win this? How is there any other way I can win? Is there any other way I can win?
You just have to get the king.
No, you just have to make sure that there's no moves that I can make where I won't get my king taken.
Oh, it is. Oh, Fucking hell.
Oh, you can upgrade it.
Oh,
so
you've
if you
done
got
it. You've done it. Yeah, you can upgrade it to any.
How do
any
I
piece now, yeah.
upgrade it?
I don't know in this game, but usually it
That I
gives you
don't know. You might
options
have
on
to take it
what
on the,
piece you
the
want to turn
side,
it
I don't
into.
know.
Oh!
Oh, there you go.
Oh shit! What is this?
Oh,
is this a
fuck.
queen?
This is
That's
sounds
like-
real bad, real quick.
Yeah, it's like the best piece you could get.
Oh shit!
Yeah, I'm in trouble now.
John, thanks for the follow.
Thank you.
I'm in trouble now.
Oh.
You know, you got this. You got this. You
I
just
don't
have
know.
to-
I don't think so.
Oh!
Wait! We drew?
It turned into a draw.
I will
my
never do
God.
that again because I don't know.
We're both equally
Anything.
as bad.
Or equally as good.
we watched that. What an ending. Yeah,
What an ending, right?
Oh my goodness. I forgot I had candy. I could have been eating candy during that. What the?
Guys, is it time to learn? Is it time to learn chess? You need to learn chess
We'll do a
streams
stream where we just play chess together the whole time until we.
until we learn it.
I saw something online where you could do like 4-person chess. Like
No
against
way,
each other.
no way.
Good night,
I
Frank.
was unwrapping my candy.
Get the dick out your mouth and get in the shuttle.
Oh my god. Do you think I have one of those just laying around?
Right. You know Fable, so.
In hours playing any of
True.
that was intense.
Now you have to watch The Queen's Gambit on Netflix.
I've actually watched that.
Oh god, no.
I watched it, but I didn't watch it for the chess.
The only way
Punish
I
the
know chess is
children,
from
and we will let you out.
No Game No Life. That was actually good chess.
Oh, I know. I just know that it's checkered.
Oh, you know how you need to learn chess? You need to watch High School DxD. That has chess in it.
How are you supposed to learn
It's totally,
chess when you have like other
it's
things?
totally a good anime to my platform.
I've seen it. where the bullet just like goes through her boobs.
No, that's High School of the Dead you're thinking of.
Oh, I watched the first couple episodes of that.
Yeah,
High
were you
School of the
shocked?
Dead is very good, but so is High School DxD. High School DxD has more titties in it though.
Welcome to the family, John the
So it's better.
Cyberhound.
Of course, I'd seen
John the
160.
Cyberhound.
I'm
Ooh,
cultured.
bravo.
Thank you very much. Batteries. DxD has
I didn't-
what it
that
actually
one-
does. That's unironically, it's a good story. But it's mostly just hentai.
Wait, what was the name again?
Wait, you heard hentai and now you want to know the name?
High School
you know.
DxD, it's actually really good. The story is actually interesting.
I think I gave myself
And you get to see
psychosis
titties.
already. Perfect. Okay, I mean, I'm definitely not gonna look that up later.
I've watched
Guys, don't think of the
Heavenly
22
Deliciously a couple of days ago. Oh, it's a fella.
What did you watch the other day?
Heavenly Delicious.
Oh, that's the one where they go, bread, bread, bread.
No, but sounds
That's
fun.
what
No. Yeah.
You don't want to be bread, bread, bread?
I mean, I don't mind being bread. It's a sad one. Wait, is this the one with the moo-moos? Wait, I think this is the one with the moo-moos.
I can't remember.
There's Momos?
Yeah, there's moo-moos.
Oh my god. Imagine if the censorship was on stream, I could describe it to you guys. But there's definitely barbed wire there.
I think those are boobs. Anybody in here? Oh. I wanted to see if somebody was.
You hid already.
What? Me? I didn't know I did.
You just
Parkour!
immediately went to hide.
Oh no, I thought there was a fella in there. That's
I
like
got
everything.
so much
So why did you get in? He would have hurt you.
Yeah, I know. But where's the fun playing fair?
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, I think Moomoo's upstairs.
The delicious
Oh wait,
indulgence.
here's the
Thank you,
Moomoo.
Doodle.
Here's the Moomoo. I found the Moomoo.
Yeah, there you go. You found a Moomoo. You wanna pull on its teats?
Not particularly.
I hear a bad man.
Not particularly.
Bad fella. Poor Moomoo.
You don't want her teats.
Oh. Give me this. Oh.
What are you doing, Nova? It sounds kind of.
I was struggling because the Slenderman, the wannabe Slenderman, he's not my husband. I've confirmed after much investigation. But anyways,
Yeah, okay.
this Slenderman just
There's a
scared the
fella over
frick
there,
out of
by
me.
the way, heading your way. Oh yeah, find the bad
No, you're still
children.
in the beginning of the level, right?
No, I went back because I was looking for an antidote because you know I was strategizing. You see, I actually was strategizing.
Oh fuck!
And something told me that was the best course of action.
Nice.
You good at that? Do you need help finding your way back in?
Me?
Do you want me to help you strategize your way back in?
No, I can't. See, I know how. I know how.
No one needs help.
Safi has no faith in me, chat. Absolutely none.
I've seen you on a mountain, okay?
Oh.
The funny thing is, that I regularly hike mountains in real life.
Please don't fall, for the love of
I
God.
know. Isn't that terrifying? Isn't that?
It's kind of horrifying, yet.
Do you just peek off the edge for the lols?
It's the night vision guy.
Yeah, I do actually.
Hello. Hello, look at Moomoo. Hey Nova, down here. The Moomoo's here.
Oh.
Oh, you got a friend. Oh, okay. You have fun with him.
Yeah.
Where did we find the kids? Where are the stupid kids hiding?
Oh, I think I just stabbed. Oh, that's so unfortunate. Ooh.
Oh.
Oh,
you found one of the kids.
I did?
I grinded him.
Staffy did.
Oh, I found a button. I'm gonna press it.
That unlocks the kid.
Oh my god.
Oh, hi. I have a friend.
Yeah. I got a friend.
Bunny!
Bunny Hearted just raided my stream with 53
Bunny raid
views.
noises.
Everyone behave.
He's doing himself now.
Bunny!
I was psychosis. You made a manga.
Oh god, I just sang Peaches just for a minute. I don't know what I'm doing.
How you doing, cutie?
You're a tall Pokemon and you're hard to
There's a
catch.
person on the other side.
That's fine, it's locked.
Bunny, have you seen
Well, that explains why you're so hard to catch. You do have a leash.
Have you
That's
seen
convenient.
the tweet of
Oh, they came around. Which one is that?
Baby Metal? Baby Metal, we're gonna be in VR chat. Some VR chat stuff.
Oh my god, VR chat.
VR chat?
Yeah, Baby Metal are gonna be there.
Who's getting in VR chat?
Baby Metal.
Baby Metal. Oh shit.
Yeah. Pretty
People are getting
dope.
nuts for that.
Yeah. I would. I would.
I would love to. My 3D model is currently in work in progress.
Oh,
so.
you fake! You fake!
Hell.
Fake!
I'm not fake. I'm not fake.
Are you? Wait, what? No, you're fake.
I'm not fake. What are you talking about?
I found the Momo.
Okay, wait. You found? Yeah, there's a bunch of boomers. But wait, what? Wait, you went upstairs?
I don't know what the other kids are.
It is a fake. It is fake you.
Oh. We're right next to you.
Oh, it's a fake Nova.
Yes, it is.
Oh, they're in the different colored rooms.
Yeah, in the green room. This is a red room. We got the red room. So we gotta find the green room. We gotta find the green room. How do we... Ooh. Exit. Oh.
Let us out.
Wait, I'm in a green area.
You're in a green area? I'm still in the red. Let me out.
If you come to me, the green area starts over here.
Oh my god, I'm hiding a little box.
Are you hiding again?
You're melting? Go get ice cream.
Melting. Go.
The green stuff's over here.
Get some cold ice. What you do?
Finally could have thrown away.
Oh man. Stab! I'm getting shanked.
Oh boy.
Oh man. He's not gonna know, guys. He's not gonna know.
Oh, it's a kid.
He's not gonna know.
We just need to follow the cable back. Okay. Now here's the button. Grab the kid.
Okay. Where do I take the kid?
Found another one.
To the shredder.
Someone already pressed the button on this one. Take him to the grinder.
What's the fastest way?
I wish I could tell.
Imagine there was a map. Imagine. Oh, should I help you?
No, I'm good.
Hello. I'm okay now.
Hi.
Hello. Where'd my kid go? Oh, he's all the way over here.
Hi. Ow. Oh! Ow! Ow! That's not the real Ninu. Ow! 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 Ow!
Yeah, that's Inu.
Yeah, it's spelled wrong. I know how to spell my name. Wait a minute. Is this... Wow. I'm so talented. Look. I'm back here, guys.
Hi. What did you do?
I'm all the way back at the
Oh, you're back
start.
at the beginning. Nice. Grind it, Nova. Let's go.
I know. I'm just. I might be a little drunk.
Have you considered not doing drugs?
No, that's no fun. Right, so the last one is in the blue area.
Parkour!
I don't know if I've been in the blue room yet.
Which is by the carousel.
Oh.
Mommy masks
blue area.
Hey, guys.
Mommy masks are just for subathon, guys. They have to be special.
Hi, Nova. Hello. Hello, Nova.
Hello.
That's locked, bitch.
Oh, wait. Green. I finally found green. But we're not looking at green,
I think we
are
need blue.
Okay.
Yeah, we need to go all the way to the other side now.
Well, you're being mauled.
I'm not being mauled anymore because I slapped a bitch.
Oh. Nice.
Fuck's sake, man.
You guys all want the tweet? Blue!
Yo,
Liechtenstein! Oh, fuck! wanted to get a treat.
Oh, I
And
found
then-
the button for the kid here. I pressed the button for the blue child.
Oh, I found the child.
Okay, you should be able to rip it off.
Yeah, I'm just in a little predicament.
Alright, you're in a little predicament.
No! Oh, hi. Ah, yeah. Did... Whoa, I got feet. That's not feet. Not fair. I was trying to get the treat and you guys got it.
Welcome back. It's nice to hear from you.
Okay, I'll go get that child in a minute.
Where's that child gone? Oh, I found the child.
There's like just a little.
Yeah, don't worry, I
bunch.
got the child.
Yeah, there's a little,
Okay, this is not the one.
something happening here right now.
Oh. Oh, hi.
Hey.
Hi. We can go through here.
Oh, mother, why did you drop me?
Okay, I'm ready.
No. The child wants to be dropped.
This wasn't much of a shock, actually. Right, that motherfucker.
He doesn't like the game. Exit now.
And leave.
Oh, hiya. Oh.
I got stuck.
No! Nova! You're gonna make it out, don't worry. Oh, that was a cool slide. That was so
Okay.
cool.
I did.
I got stuck on the lady.
Oh. Daffy Duck.
Excuse me. Oh shit.
Excuse me.
Come this
excuse me,
way.
I'm coming through. Excuse me.
Yeah.
I see. I'm like
pressed the
kind of
button when you get hit.
Oh.
Ah!
You're gonna be fine.
Run! I've got a brick.
Oh. It's open. The door. Open the door.
The door is open.
Yeah. Yeah. It was so
We
cool.
done it. We done it.
Oh my god.
Look at us, all B.
We love a B average.
Yeah, it means we're beautiful.
I prefer D, honestly.
Means nuts.
Who doesn't like a good D?
D's nuts.
I done it.
First try. Yes, it's first
I got level
try.
50.
Oh, I forgot. I forgot. I forgot.
Right, one more I'd say, and then we're good.
Yeah.
Grade A for sure. What the fuck? I'm a grade asshole.
I didn't know asshole was a grade.
Wait, they get
Yeah, it is for me. Look, I used to skip school and walk out. I was on a report card for like just walking out.
Oh man.
I was a bad
Matthew
kid.
was naughty.
I hope there's something.
Right, the last one from me is gonna be. Let's see, what are we doing? Open the gates, whatever that is.
Okay. Do you think I'd still be here if I had a choice?
I'll give you guys time to
I
like
thought
have
I
a
was
look at
just
your
doing
grades and
another
stuff.
job.
Okay.
Do a couple of months, make some money, and go back to Franklin Lake. Then I have a drink on the plane.
Alright, but
Next thing I know, I wake up in the desert.
You guy likes to yap.
Oh, no, I didn't.
Go ahead.
Are you a yapper?
You be careful with that now.
By the way, you don't have to like
Good luck out there.
stop when I stop. By the way, if you guys want to keep playing without me.
I might steal Nina for Overwatch if she's not tired.
He's gonna steal
Oh
me
my
for
god, you're going
Overwatch,
for
guys. We're gonna get all the Overwatch things. Let me out of here. Let me out. I've completed everything. Let me out.
You've not completed everything. What are you talking about?
Have I not? Oh, how to play chess. The queen. Okay. Yeah, too much text already. I can't be bothered doing that.
Oh my god, reading? No.
Imagine reading. Ew.
I didn't know you could close the door on your way through.
Like, did I close the door?
Interesting, I never knew you could do that. You can like close the door as you're sprinting through it. Which is
Oh!
That'd be super useful.
Yeah, it's just that I closed the door Nova when I did that. Hello.
How dare you! Don't break my door. But since you're here, you can sit on the bed.
Okay.
Let us know when you're ready, Noah.
Okay.
Cooperation is better than conflict. Oh, monkey!
I changed my shirt.
Wind on.
Nice. It looks a bit beaten up though.
It looks what?
Looks a little beaten up, you know?
Well, I'm a little
You should,
beaten
like,
up
give
on
it a
the
wash.
inside, so I wanted to like showcase
Wow.
the world,
Nova
you
has
know?
first class again. Wow. Bruh, every single time I'm second class.
Hello from France. Welcome.
Hello.
Bonjour, mon ami.
Bonjour.
That's about all in the French I know.
Je suis la pomme de terre.
Poisson.
Je suis cartoffel.
Je suis kerfuffle. The fuck is that supposed to mean?
Raptor, you saw that? There was text with the pictures. There is text with the pictures, a lot.
French is pretty good. Hell yeah.
Oh my
I took
god.
French in school and I don't remember a fucking bit of it.
Me too.
I did not take French. I took Spanish in school.
Your containment requires your
Yeah, but you guys teach Spanish over French because you've got Spanish on the borders. We've got French on the borders.
We have Canada on the borders.
Yeah, but they speak they speak French too.
Well,
yeah, they're like
they speak English mostly though.
Yeah, but the French I think of is XQC.
Welcome to the family PLT_Obame.
I'm sorry.
Thank you for the follow.
No, we like
Obame. No, bad. What do you mean bad?
We welcome everybody. Let me out of my seat, goddammit.
Let me out. Let me out.
They could let us out before the fucking thing stops, yeah?
Yeah, that would be nice. Actually, it doesn't even speak in words though. That's true.
Yeah, it's true.
But he speaks French as well.
Yeah, but he doesn't speak human, that's the problem.
I do not watch it.
Good, it's why. I've only ever heard him scream and yell.
Sometimes I like to study him. Oh, fuck! I got touched.
What? Oh my god.
Yeah, my bad.
And I wasn't invited?
Oh, you. Ay, ay, ay. Words are overrated sometimes. Yes. You guys can guess what I'm saying when I'm not even saying anything.
Oh wait, that's a bad duck.
The bad, well, most of them's bad.
Well, no, because sometimes you can make them be nice ducks.
Well,
We do
true,
like
but like,
nice
it takes a while.
Yeah. Oh
That we have to
no!
follow
They
the
didn't
wires
censor
to
that
unlock
one.
the gates.
They didn't censor that PP. There was a
but you
PP that
found
wasn't
uncensored
censored.
PP?
Yeah. Do you see this thing over here? In this side. There's one PP that's not censored.
No, it's just. Oh, right.
Naked!
I was looking at the other one earlier.
Oh, no.
I had no idea about the one at the back.
Okay,
Hi, Radiant. Your stream went good.
Naked! Okay, I was just making sure he's dead.
I'm gonna make a lot of noise.
Do it.
That's good. Make a lot
Your
of noise.
home of high-end dining. Wafts.
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 Yeah, that's locked. Come on.
There's a fella in there. Oh, there's
Hey,
people
there's a
in
fella.
there. There's people
Nice.
in the jail.
Oh my god,
Let's go with
he
the
opened up
British.
right next to me!
My staff is in that one.
Oh, hi! Came out right next to where I was standing.
I opened the gate.
Oh, hi! There's a woman.
Nice.
Oh, God!
Bomb behind you.
Oh, God! Jeez. Wait, did he jump off too? Did he?
Yeah, I did. Oh, you got so lucky that I disabled that track behind you.
Oh. I like to play on the edge of my life.
you like the edge, huh?
Yeah. What can I say? What can I say?
Me too. Oh, shit. You might be in trouble, Nova. The big lady's after you.
What's that? Oh, it's not
Me,
person.
I'm hiding.
Oh.
She's looking for you, though.
Well, she can't find me in this superb hiding place.
She will if I'm right here and I throw a glass bottle right next to you.
Why are you like this? Why?
Where's the fun of playing fair?
Why?
Where's fun playing fair?
I like to play on the edge, too.
Oh my god.
I can't blame her. I followed this blue thing for a very long time, so I don't think we have to do the blue one.
No, wait, Ninu, I've already unlocked that one.
Yeah.
I've already done those.
Like, all the colors look the same to me.
You have to go through the gate and do the next one. Oh, fuck. I was trying to disarm it and I accidentally closed it and then set off the trap.
He was there too.
Oh, you didn't tell her?
Oh. I have a situation.
I pulled something out.
Friends. I have like a slice situation.
Nino.
Yeah?
How help me?
You lost?
You're in the wrong area.
Yeah, I know. It's because I'm sure there's just 50 people after me.
You need to come this way.
Wait. Oh, am I not supposed to pull them out?
No, we've already done that one.
Over there.
We've got to go through gates. Gate 1's done. So now we go through gate 1 and we start doing gate 2. So you got to go find gate 2 and then follow the cables from gate 2.
That sounds so easy. So simple.
It sounds easy, but...
Oh, is this
we're
the
in the wrong
wire?
area, so...
Okay, this is not the wire.
These are wires.
Did Will ask that to your AI? Or is he asking us? Because
Oh,
I
she
thought-
can jump over?
You
Okay, not this one.
Unfreaking
There's
believable.
there's another cable. Jeez.
Children, I have something to teach you.
No, you don't. Women, am I right? Oh fuck, she hit me.
Little darling.
I got her with a brick. You did.
Oh. Skedaddle skedoodle, look at my noodle.
Right. What's the new thing you've got on your model here?
Oh, when I press F, it goes down, and I have like the same visor as the
people in this game.
Yeah.
The goggles.
The
Yeah.
goggles.
Oh, that's
yeah.
cool.
Yeah. Open your door. Found the sink. Wait, no, it's not a sink. It's a toiletto.
And then I brought you a friend.
Oh, hi. Wait, she's after you. I hit her. Oh, hi.
Oh, you brought her back to me.
Okay. Okay.
Night division.
Night vision. Wait, oh,
Have you done that one?
oh my goodness gracious. What the confusion.
Back to there.
No, goodbye. I closed the door there. Oh, wait, I got to.
Okay, I found the last part of the gate 3.
Yay! Now we're gonna go to gate 3. Yippee!
Yep, which means you gotta go through gate 2 first.
What if I can't?
I found one of the ones for gate 3 already.
I know what. Nova?
You know how to get
Found
to
the second one for gate 3 already.
What's up, Nina?
I thought you were muted.
Oh no, I'm just a quiet girly.
Hey,
why are you being a quiet girly?
Hello.
Because I
opened
feel
gate
as
3.
though if I scream, then voices will hear me.
Which voices?
All of the voices.
Oh, what is that?
You're concerning me now.
Gas? Wait, what? I've been lied. This game lying. There's something there. Something. Okay.
I'm sorry to say, but I finished the mission.
What do you mean?
That's why, huh? That's why it disappeared. That's why it disappeared.
Yeah, what could you possibly mean by that? Oh, I almost stepped on a mine.
Makes your feet spicy if you step on it. Like that.
I made her feet.
Oh, there, she just did the drilling. Oh. It's already open.
So happy doing their impression. Let me show her. I couldn't help it. I found all the things so easily. I still got a B+. Let's go.
You deserve an A.
Damn. You had to eat. Oh my god, hi Smurfy. B? Resident Foot Gremlin Smurfy.
We have our feet out. Our twinkle toes out.
You too, got your twinkle toes out, but
Yeah, twinkle toes.
like
They're touching.
your feet's a little fucked up, Nina.
Oh, okay, I was born like that.
I feel like
I was born like that.
Born like that. Don't judge me.
It's a feature.
Get it? A feet?
Feature.
Yeah.
Man,
I totally
hate puns.
thought
I'm gonna
that.
go slap myself.
I thought of that.
You're making progress, but slowly. You need to try harder. You have to shock yourself out of the comforts and lazy assumptions. Accept the therapy. I need you to
Man, I
want
can't
to
believe I hit level
change.
50 in this game already.
Webbed feet. Isn't that just frog? Isn't that just frog?
You behave now.
That guy 4-2
Unlocking all of the
5
things.
Oh, wait, this guy's still playing. This fella's still playing. The guy with like the plant house. What? Oh, he changed
Well,
it.
no,
He
this is a
changed it.
different one.
Wait, is it
Because
different?
all of the stuff is different in here.
Wow. Wow, who's this boring, this boring gray ass place? That's worse than mine.
That's a default one, actually.
Oh, okay. It's awful. Oh, yeah. Awful. Mine has color, guys. Mine has bejazz. Bedazzle.
Nina reviewing viewer rooms.
Yeah, Staffy
Absolutely awful.
Very, very nice.
This is boring grey ass room here.
Wait, boring grey ass room. Color. Looks like the 60s. Oh, that's Nova's room.
Oh my god.
Oh, my bad, my bad.
I am gonna head out here, but if you guys have been enjoying the stream, then you can stick around with Nova and Nini.
Yeah.
They're gonna be
You guys enjoyed it,
Overwatch
right?
this
Right?
time. They've definitely enjoyed it. They've been behaving.
They were?
Just realized that if you lust for free to the wrong chat, you'll get banned from random people.
Don't
That's
let those
true.
fuckers get in your head.
Oh no, it's okay.
Right,
And
so I am gonna raid out here.
Oh,
thank you, ladies, for joining me. It was very fun.
Had fun.
Thank you for joining
dragging
me.
me.
Great.
Oh, what room is this?
It was a lot of fun. Oh, you want to do this? Yeah.
This is
yeah,
a
let's do
stroop
this.
waffle. Stroop waffle. This is a stroop test. Oh wait.
Yep. I'm bad at this.
Wait, are we supposed to read the color?
Okay, I pressed the wrong button.
Wait.
I think you're supposed to press the color of the color
okay.
of the word.
The word. Dang, you fast. You fast.
I'm not that fast, trust me.
Oh, I got that wrong. Wait.
Nope, fuck, I pressed the wrong one.
There's no white though.
Now I know what I'm doing. I'm doing
Wait,
better.
am I doing the right thing?
Probably not. You have to look at the color of the text instead of what's actually
Oh,
there.
what's actually written?
Oh, that's.
Wait. Fuck. They haven't even. They haven't even. This is bullshit. They need to. They need to be. Stupid machine.
Stupid machines. Yeah, the rules are written on the door.
Wait, the rules are written on the. Is there too many text?
Yes,
Yeah,
they're
that
written
explains why. I didn't read it.
Too many text. Fuck that.
What can I say?
Right, I'm
Wait,
a raid out. Thank you, ladies.
Thank you, Staffy.
Thank you.
Take care. Bye bye.
Nice
I'm
butt.
gonna
That's what
raid
you
somebody
okay.
who's absolutely incredible.
Yeah.
This
Oh
man
my
sounds
gosh.
sounds rough,
Thank
Ollie.
you
You
very
have an
much for
umbrella?
noticing.
And one! Where is it?
Inside out 2 miles away.
Is there anything we can do for you?
Have a mask?
What kind?
Chunky!
All right.
You have an ass. Wait a minute.
You've
Wait.
seen it, Ninu.
Your ass?
Yes.
Wait, hold up. Wait.
Bye bye, everyone.
When? Staffy, bye bye.
Bye bye.
Bye.
Bye bye.
Bye.
Fable, Nova.
Yeah.
Same person. Oh my
Wait,
god, look, it's a
I got
Staffy
away.
raid!
I got away
Staffy!
from is this Madame Stafare? Oh my goodness. Go check it out.
Oh my god.
I hate this. What the
You
fuck?
did. Thank you so much.
Thank you for playing.
Oh, it's the back post again. Nice.
I'm gonna go head out and stop melting now.
Okay, yeah, go get some
You
ice
got
cream and
ice cream and
Bye-bye.
cold shower.
Can I make one of you guys like the host or something?
Oh, I think we might have to restart the Twitch thingy.
Yeah, you might have to. Hold on. Can I move you to like? No, I can't move you to slot 1.
Oh.
Can I? No, I can't. I can report you. Do you want me to do that one?
No. No.
No, then you're gonna
know.
have to remake it. Sorry.
It's
That's
okay.
The chat's gonna
okay.
unlink for a second, guys. Sorry, it's all my fault.
Goodbye forever, guys.
okay.
Goodbye forever. Goodbye.
Bye, bye, ladies.
Bye. Love you. Bye. Okay.
Bye.
I can.
Bye. We already
can
miss
knock on
her.
your
When is
stream.
she coming back?
I don't know.
When is she coming back, guys?
Oh, soon.
When is she coming back?
I don't know.
Is she back yet?
I knocked on your stream.
You knocked on my stream? Am I in your stream?
Yeah.
No.
Did you want to still play some Overwatch?
Yeah, we can play some Overwatch. I just want to see some Overwatch.
Okay. Okay. I am just going to put you guys on this screen for a second. It's a Nova stream? Oh my god. I gotta change my title because Overwatch isn't scary like this game.
What, you were scared, Nova?
Well, maybe slightly, a little bit. Before you were there to hold my hand, I was just screaming left and right.
I was just running around.
Yeah. Okay.
Let me get some music going.
About Overwatch. So a regular stream then? Yes, ugh. Yes. Perhaps.
What's regular stream?
When they scream all the time.
Oh. You invite me whenever you're ready.
Okay. Social. Mom.
Yay! I'm in the team.
They have a G.I. Joe crossover? Yeah, we were looking at that earlier too. Hold up. Overwatch. Dome. Oh, also, I'm gonna become a wiggle tuber for this, so that way I'm not blocking anything on screen. And, oh, don't mind that, guys. And then I have Nino next to me. Let's go. Okay. Do we want to play a ranked?
Yeah, let's go.
Do you want to
Let's
try
do
Stadium? I'm good with whatever.
I am good with whatever you pick.
Okay. She's getting me real good at stuffs, guys. This is gonna be Nova playing Tank Simulator.
They're gonna force you into tank again?
Yeah, I just have 2 more games until it gives me an actual rank, and then I think it'll stop prioritizing me.
That is understandable.
Also, wait 1 second. Yeah, I'm gonna do this. Wait 1 second, guys. You might see the stream go down for audio momentarily, but it's for music purposes.
No panic, guys.
I
No
freaked them
panic.
out. I'm back! I said it was just gonna be a second. Oh my god.
Guys, did
I
you
just-
see my new emotes? Look at this one in
You have new mods?
Yeah, I got Ninu Hysteria new, and I got Glitch new.
Oh?
Yeah.
Oh my god, those are so cute. I love those.
Yay! Someone find Nova, and Nova's hiding. She's hiding in the toilet.
I'm not.
You don't have to make it big. It looks so goofy.
I will to find about the game.
Yeah, Nova's being. Ah! I like the glitch one.
I'm not peeing right now.
Nova hiding.
I can't find any custom games for us, so.
Vote for
Oh! That's okay. We found the game.
I love those emotes. Alright, chat, what kind of tank should I be?
Select your hero.
Diva!
Diva?
Yeah.
Okay. A good one?
Select heroes to ban.
M1 Abrams?
Aim. Leash band. Hog. Definitely Hog. Hog can. He's gonna do the boop.
Not the boop.
Dang.
Now arriving at Ilios.
Oh, it's the Greece buildings.
Yeah. Ruins.
In my world, there
No!
are no secrets.
They left. Wow.
I prep all night.
They left. This game got cancelled.
Maybe I gained a little too.
Boy.
Priority.
Yeah.
You got priority.
Wait. Unselect tank. Since we got priority.
Oh!
Good.
She's so smart, guys.
And Nina smart.
Try limiting your frame rate so it doesn't lag. Oh, yeah, for Overwatch though, my iPad just like covers a big portion of my screen and I can't really put it anywhere when I'm playing Overwatch where it won't cover something important. So it's mostly my physical iPad. That's the problem.
Daddy!
But it's okay. The people love the Wiggle Tuber.
Hello.
Thank you again for the raid. You should go and rest, Stuffy. Or like continue hanging out with us too. I mean, if you wanted to stay up really late, you're welcome to.
Rest brain good. Good rest brain.
I will show you guys. This is... Wait, hold on. I got to show them the skin that we are working towards this season. Okay. I am just getting enough coins so I can
Wait,
get...
Staffy is crypto coins? We invest in Staffy.
Invest in Staffy?
Yes. You're up for another 6-8 hours? Oh.
That is so many. I don't know about this priority, Mina.
We could do custom games in the time.
Okay, I'm just turning this music off really quick because I made it Twitch only. Okay.
Staffy eats breakfast before bed. Oh, what is this one? Oh! Get off the map! Get off the map! Oh no! 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 Please! Get off the map! Get off the map! Oh fuck, no. No! I killed myself twice. All my deaths have been to me. Oh!
Time for the reckoning! Adaptive circuits engaged. Hunger. Who's up?
Dang, brother.
Oh, and Mr. whoever his name is.
That's not you.
Why? Oh my god.
Wait, who are you? I'm trying to find you. Oh, are you Cassidy? No, yeah.
I'm dwarf man with beard.
Oh, okay. I see you. Yeah, I touched you. Touched? Yeah, I did. Wait. Oh, you're still dwarf man. Oh, you did. Oh, hi. Look, I'm dwarf too. Hi. Okay. I'm dwarf too. I'm dwarf.
Oh no! I'm Junkrat. Or no, Freya.
Oh, then you'll right behind me. Wait, did you fall off?
Yeah, you did.
Oh, you tried to kill me. That's so naughty.
I would never after you killed me twice in a row without letting you right after I respawn. Why would I do that now, huh?
I don't know why you would do that.
Oh my god.
Select a map.
Staffy, please erase that from your brain.
King's Row. Oh, yeah. Guys, we'll redeem the Oh Daddy.
No.
Oh no.
Select your hero.
Oh my god, I'm support. Noah!
I'm damaged.
Yes.
I don't know.
Fine,
Oh,
you're fine.
daddy.
Oh, daddy.
Choose heroes to ban.
Stop redeeming my sus ones.
Yeah, I'm just gonna go for snipey people. And right now. There you go. Oh. Hey, Frank. Yeah, Nova said that. She said that.
Oh, sorry, Frank here.
You gotta do it for Frank. I'm a cat. Yeah. Wait, what? Where is that from?
I'm sorry, I'm hearing too many of my own, too much of my own voice right now.
What is that from?
Oh, the cat one? That was
Yeah.
for the subathon. They finally, they finally made me record myself saying a terrible phrase.
Can I get that on my Pangea? For no
I'll
particular
find my
reasons?
own path.
I hope they put up a fight.
What? Yeah, don't piss on your vein. You don't like these. You don't like these.
No unnecessary risks.
Oh my god. Wait. Is there gonna be a party? No party?
Level 2 Tantia party. Oh.
Yeah. Oh, where's the party at? Oh, it's starting now. Okay. it's all over my screen. It's covering my icon. Oh my god! Guys, get that out of my face! Get it out of my face! Don't say anything. Something different. I can't do it yet. Wow, thanks guys. Thank you for the party though. Thank you for the party. Yeah, I didn't have to see I didn't have to see anything. Alright. I didn't have to see the game.
Enemy spotted. 私がついてる。木漏れ日のごとく。
Oh shit. Bro, don't do that. Don't do that. Oh my god.
I'm a cat, yeah.
I'm a cat, yeah. He's low tonight. Oh.
Enemy here. I'll be your angel. Got one here.
Wait, my latency is at 100 and I'm still getting these headshots.
And what did we learn?
Sorry, I owned it. I forgot I couldn't get this.
Oh, you're so bad.
Just nice out.
Yeah. Combo Mombo. Destroy them. Sheesh.
This ends now. Restoring balance. Come here. I can heal you.
Oh my god. I shouldn't have done that.
Oh god.
Time to try again.
Oh, they canceled it? Whatever.
They can't say it all.
Come to me for heals. Powered up. Nice. Over here.
Don't stay there. Goofy.
Enemy spotted.
Oh, they got it.
The battle ignites me.
Okay. We got the point, so we have to fight in this.
My gift to you. Helden sterben nicht.
Oh my god! Oh my god, I almost killed us. Mercy. This is incredible.
Let the Kitsune guide you. Fucking satellite vector.
Goodbye.
I'm on fire. I'll pretend I didn't see that.
Oh, dude. Oh, nice roll.
I tried. I think I might have deleted it too soon.
No. We got it. It's nice.
Underestimated me, Over here.
Oh god.
Oh, nice. Nice.
Easy cube.
This ends now.
Oh my goodness.
Oh gosh, it'll be too bad to beat. Oh no.
That feels better.
Incoming.
I'm with you. Nice to know you have my back.
Oh, sorry. He's trying to chase me. Oh my god. Oh, okay. Bye.
I almost jumped into it.
Guys, I am so sly.
Enemy spotted.
Oh god.
Oh, oh. Oh, do you have a sheet? Can you ice pull yourself? Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
Thank you.
I'm gonna. Oh shit. Oh no. Oh, nice. Okay, nice. Oh shoot. Ah, I didn't have my cooldown.
Yeah. I'm practicing my Overwatch skills, okay guys?
No please. Yeah, I'm very sly. I just jump all over the place.
What's up? Okay.
Be healed.
I'm a fool to watch.
Feels like
Oh,
huh?
y'all taking so much. Oh my god.
Let me balance you out. This
is
now.
Oh no. Yeah, she's ulting. She's ulting.
Well, I didn't think Juno's ult did damage.
No, it buffs them, I believe.
It buffs them? Like us?
The enemy team.
Oh, I didn't know it did damage.
Oh gosh. Oh, he fell. He fell off. He fell off.
Gentle rain.
We need to get. Oh gosh, I died to a little orby thing. Or I mean, big orby thing. Google?
Oh my god.
Let the Kitsune guide you. Back off. I'm on fire. My gift to you.
Nova Owl? What is that?
Ain't no way you guys not killing this flying stuff. Kills just one. Thank you. Welcome. Peace. Peace. Oh, he's gonna ult.
ends now.
This one.
Sorry, I'm not done yet.
Nope, not today.
Heroes never die. Complete.
Really?
Score 0-2.
Nova becomes Al VTuber. Cause she's a hoot.
Oh, I get it. I get it.
Select your hero.
Yeah. Yeah, I didn't know why he didn't ult. I don't mind. I don't mind though. Can't remember which one. Wait, they had a Reaper and what else? Sojourn. Sojourn must be the one with the 10k damage. Yeah, Reaper's not doing so well.
I'll find my own path.
He ain't doing so good.
This is London, huh? I've seen fancier.
Look where I am. I'm up here.
Alright.
Yeah, you can get up here as well.
Makes me stronger.
I can.
Yeah. With your... Yeah. Okay, and then now you have to wait for another cooldown.
If we do this right, they won't even know what happened.
Yay!
Oh.
Yeah.
What's up?
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
You like my fox-like tail?
Capture objective.
Yeah, I do.
Hell yeah. Oh, okay, 시간 미쳤을까? Are you sure? Oh fuck. Okay.
Eyes on the back. Come to me for heals.
Oh wow. Okay. Can't believe she looked me up. Oh, I can't press.
What's up?
Oh god. I did not see that little
Venture.
Oh, is that their name? I didn't know what their name was, but I knew they dug tunnels.
Groundhog. Oh.
Keep an eye out.
Bye, Bob. Thank you for being here.
I have to go for a bit. Bye bye, Belle. Bye forever. What? Why? Explain yourself, Mercy. Explain yourself.
Let the Kitsune guide you.
Wait, that was unnecessary.
The battle ignites me. Enemy here.
Come on. Oh, what the hell?
Hey there. I'm
Really?
on fire.
Oh my god.
I
Oh my
really
god.
like your Kiriko skin too.
You like it?
Yeah.
Hey.
It's called Baizu something.
Come here. I can heal you. The breeze.
Oh, behind you guys, behind you.
Oh god.
Got one here.
Groundhog.
Yeah, I found it.
Enemy here.
Oh!
Get up here then. Oh, fuck.
I need healing. I'm here.
Let's go.
Gotcha. Need a sword.
he doesn't know. He hasn't opened in a while. Oh boy. Oh. Oh, Reaper, come down.
Where are you going?
Ignore him. Forget him. Let him die.
Underestimated me.
He deserves to die there. Oh, your Bob! I thought you took my Reinhardt.
No! I was like,
There's no way she's so dumb. I can't do that. Oh no. Get out! Oh man. Don't do it. Dang. I know why she did that. Mercy didn't. Mercy literally stood there and waited until a cooldown for a res was done to res me whilst the team died. Okay, somebody's up there above us.
The breeze brings relief. Keep an eye out.
Oh, hi. Oh no, she's back here.
Over there. Enemy spotted.
Oh, behind you. Oh gosh, hi. No, bye bye.
My senses are sharpened. Under my protection. Come to me for heals.
Hey. There you go. This is fine. Everything's under control.
We're doing great.
Let's all tank. Oh, there he is.
Heroes never die. Let the kitsune guide you.
Oh gosh.
I'm here.
Is he still bent? Oh, he's dead. Okay, the Anna's still. Got him. He's about to. Nice.
My gift to you.
No surprise. He's lost. I missed everything, so on that.
Nicht getan. Helden sterben nicht. 60 seconds.
Oh,
sorry guys if you hear any background noise. I think they're doing some meetings or something over there for them.
Enemy spotted. More daijoubu.
Oh.
Enemy here. Get in there, Bob.
For the Crusaders!
Purify.
Oh. Oh man.
Oh no.
Heroes never die. We don't have much time.
Oh gosh.
Let the
No way. I ulted and I lost it. She has things going in the background because people are working on something.
We've got this.
I think that Daz is cool.
Ladies and gentlemen,
Oh.
start your engines.
Oh shit.
Gotcha.
Low. Nice. I think we got this. Yay.
Victory.
Nice.
of the game.
Yeah, the Junk did a nice ult there. Is this one right?
Or wait, let me... I don't know if we have priority anymore. I should do all, probably.
Oh, they're gonna put you on tank, Nova.
Just for like two more games. It's okay.
Okay, 2 more games and then you don't have to be tank anymore.
Yeah.
Pagu Bunny.
Do we have room for one more? I mean, I'm okay with people joining us.
I'm okay with that too.
Okay. Oh, wait, people aren't online. Or are you guys online? I'm confused. Oh, do I have to not
You
be
dancing,
doing this?
Plum?
Oh, I can't add them when we're
Hit the
queue.
rough between the eyes. Between the eyes.
Alright then. Yeah, I'm dragging you into Abby and you were online. You were online, which means you wanted to play too, right?
Okay, I can only play DPS.
Frank and
Who's-
Zoid, if
who's-
you join,
who's
then we
ranked
can
up?
be...
Who's
We can... Oh, what?
Mr. Kitten, I'm checking your account. Wait, you haven't done comp. Okay. Is it Abion? Has Abion secretly been playing this game?
Oh?
No, what the fuck? Why can't I even play with you guys? I can only play DPS.
Oh.
That's okay, I'll play Sombra.
Maybe we're all just too low level for you.
I'm low level.
You're gold. You told me earlier you're gold.
Yeah, but that's... It's been a long time since I've been gold. Like, in Overwatch 2, I was gold. I mean,
You're
Overwatch
level
1.
1061 in this game.
Wait, do you have a mic in your Discord?
Me?
Yeah. Who's mic?
A mic in my Discord?
Yeah.
What does that mean?
Somebody from your Discord named Mike messaged me saying,
Oh,
"Hey there."
Select your hero.
I thought that you were talking about like my microphone.
No. There's somebody called Mike.
Oh, I don't recognize.
I'm taking until Overwatch is especially competitive. Oh yeah.
Let's see if we had a bot join during this.
Hero bands.
Is it a bot? Should I say hi back to them?
I don't think anyone joined during the stream.
A Mike joined 3 days ago. Okay, I'll just ignore him then. No Mike.
Oh, they deleted. They banned you, Sombra.
Oh, God. I don't know why people would ban Sombra.
Prepare for battle. Select your hero.
Why does it default me to the monkey? No.
It's telling you. Maybe it's a calling over.
No. I'll be Diva because I didn't get to be Diva that one game.
You sure? You sure you don't want to be Winton?
I don't want to be Winton.
Who's ready to learn?
Hey guys,
Systems calibrated for maximum cooperative behavior.
I got Mercy stuff.
Stick together. Let me take the hit.
Look guys, Mercy stuff.
Adios the soul, as they say.
But I'm not playing Mercy. But I still have a Mercy stuff.
Remember, we don't give up.
stretch. I'll stretch out. Oh god.
Whoa, okay. Might need a little TLC. Oh. This... Okay, this Echo knows how to play. This kinda sucks. Okay, I'm gonna go... Ash.
I'm the last one you'll ever cross.
Wow, okay. I'm too dead.
Oh my goodness.
You won't get the best of me.
Every soldier needs a cause.
I'm on fire!
Ooh, dang. Goodbye. Oh, okay.
Hatched up.
Gotcha! Let the Kitsune guide you!
I'm sure about this. Okay, I got this soldier. Oh, you fucker. Okay. What a bitch. Okay. I've been hiding in the little nice corner. Wait, how didn't die off 4 weeks ago?
Establishing aerial position.
Stretching.
First round lost.
Went on.
Okay,
It's a
I'm not
message,
ready.
Nova. It's a message.
There's a message? What do you mean?
Went on. Went on schooling you.
I am not going to be playing freaking monkey who just
You still about that?
without us.
it's not good.
It's a
He's not-
full-time
he-
job
he's
being the capable
destroyed my
ones.
hopes and dreams in this game, and I just simply cannot look at him.
It's
Just
still so
another day in
funny
the
that like
office.
you got that. Like of all things, that's what you get. It's crazy.
Round 2. Capture the objective.
Taking to the air.
Fight with me! Fight until you fall!
Somebody's okay. Thing is gone.
The objective is now 9
Oh god. Guys, am I gonna regret this going to heaven? Yeah. Sleep. Okay, there you go. There is the sleep. Mother! Save me! I crave island!
Redeploying.
Ooh.
They're attacking
Okay,
the point.
we regroup.
There's no cat. The only cat here is Ninu, and she's currently wearing a shark outfit.
I'm a shark.
Yeah, on my PNG tubers.
Oh yeah, my name's there. My name.
Having that evidence is not a thing.
Biotic healing ready. I'll try to
Let's go a different way. Let's go this way. Where Cassidy's going. Oh, okay, never mind. He's gone.
I'm on fire.
Wow. Guys, no aim.
I'm so glad you guys didn't do this.
Hello.
No, like they can't like Furby.
From above. I will give you good time.
Like this spooky Furby.
Adaptive circuits engaged.
Got him. Oh, fuck off. I don't want that. That's not who I want. Where are the sports? Okay. Nice. Oh shit. I can't aim.
Still got some fight in me. Take everything from them.
Somebody coming in.
Life protects life.
Oh. Okay, go healthy. Oh, she fucking got nanoed! Fuck that! I'm sorry. That's what the fuck? They nanoed her. Okay. We just need to win one more fight. I can touch last minute. Okay, I touched. Okay. Oh.
No, my shield is in there.
Defeat.
Next game we get them.
When are we gonna use that? When are we gonna use that soundbite, Abby? I just. When are we?
Oh, this is what you get. Nanoed. And I'm like, never mind. She was about to die. I mean,
okay, I just have one more tank game.
Yeah. Let's go.
Wait, did it queue us again?
No.
Did somebody rank up?
Wait.
Wide groups cannot queue with 4 players.
Whose fault is that?
Frank!
Whose fault is it?
We need a 5th player.
No.
I don't know. I don't know who the problem child is.
We can do stadium. Does it say anything about being wide for that?
Best of 7. No? No.
No to tank.
Yeah.
Damn. We can blame someone else. Blame Avion.
Yeah, Avian, what the fuck? What I mean, Nova? Okay, okay. Is it the caramel dancing? Or
Oh, the Egyptian pyramid one?
oh, is that it?
Is that one?
Is it the cat dance? And my brain is struggling.
What am I feeling like? Let's go, Anna.
Look at that game face.
Francozoid, you should download Overwatch and be our fifth so we can play something other than Stadium 2 if we wanted to.
Become tilted. Wait, since I have a mercy thing. There you go.
Your own guardian angel.
Become
Mercy.
tilted. Basically.
All sorts of strays today. I don't know what you're talking about. The 4'7" thing was really funny. That's stuff you said earlier.
Looks like the heavy hitters are coming to play.
Oh no!
Welcome to the armory.
What do you want to be? The guardian, the
Every
angel
choice
healer,
is crucial.
a pocket angel. What am I feeling like?
Everyone could use a little help in the stadium. These are example builds picked by the pros to start our competitors off on the right foot.
Look at this.
The first round can't get here quick enough.
Feel stronger?
I forgot Stadium's third person. I feel like I'm never playing third person.
You could change it, you know? In the settings. If we go to options, gameplay. Is it gameplay?
HUD? No.
The armory is about
Controls? Yeah, controls, and then stadium on the left side, and then camera perspective. Change it to first person. You looking shit.
3, 2, 1. Capture the objective. The objective unlocks in 10 seconds.
Be uplifted. Healing stream connected.
Oh no! Why I got you up?
Oh, thank you.
Oh no! Y'all getting destroyed. Okay, pull back, pull back, pull back. Oh no.
Sorry.
Oh. Yeah, I'm so dead here. This is the part where I wish like, I wish I can change my hero. Oh, rip, can't change.
Falling behind.
Wait for me!
Healthy body, healthy mind. Get ahead. Damage intensified.
Oh, there they are.
The barricade is pushing up. Get in their way.
Oh, somebody's back there. Oh! Okay, somebody's back.
Keep an eye out. I'm here to support.
Oh, behind you, behind you, behind you, behind you. Yeah, behind,
Let's get this barricade moving.
yeah, we got him, we got him.
They've almost got the lead.
Just a little farther, and the lead is ours.
Oh!
There's one. Enemies spotted. Watch here.
Oh no!
Heroes never die.
Oh my god.
my team! That's my team!
Oh my god, we got him to ult.
Wait, what is his ult do?
Sorry. Super heals. Oh no. Oh, rip. They ulted.
I must return to my post.
Oh wait, we can do this. We can do it.
10 seconds remaining. We're gonna lose the lead. Step up.
Oh shit, I died. Never mind.
What?
If we're going to stop them, we must do it
No.
now.
Aaron, you don't have to be close to them. You can fight them from afar. But they're...
is 0-1. Let's have a look at our MVPs. Coming up. Time to face off in control.
Yeah, Reaper keeps going behind. Plus, I don't want to deal with hyping. Oh, yes, you're right. Yeah. I would be tilted. I'm telling you, I would be tilted. Playing with high-ass ping.
Another round down, and it's safe to say that teams are in the zone.
I have like 100
The arena is calling. Our teams
thing at
have
the moment.
20 seconds left.
which is okay when playing like sport.
The armory is closing shortly.
Look at this dance I'm doing for you. You like it?
She dances so good.
Yeah. Oh, look at that bunny thing. Oh wait. Not bunny. It's like a cat fox thing on her back.
Monstering you.
The objective goes live in 10. Juno is out of this world!
Oh, behind you. Okay. Nice. Oh no. If you guys can get the point. Oh, I got you. Oh no. Okay. Well, we gotta go. Oh, maybe I shouldn't have rest. I'm sorry.
Zeit für einen neuen Plan. Over there.
Oh, are you...
Sends them all into the
Are you
iris.
kidding me? Oh.
Ich kümmere mich dich.
Nah,
Oh my
no,
God.
guys.
Into the iris.
Okay. Yeah, I almost got him. No.
Heroes never die.
No. He's got ult. Nice. Wow. Okay. Is this balls just like...
Abby thinks the Zen is so sus.
Yeah.
I better be more
He is kind of sus. Yeah, his like... I don't know if he was tracking someone from the wall, but might have been my eyes. Might have to see more of it.
I've got you in my sights.
Oh no, hide! I don't want to hide you. You Wait, he's low. I got you. Oh no, Reaper's gonna. Wait, did you bump?
I didn't have bump.
Let me see this. I'm gonna watch it now.
It's overtime.
I don't know really.
Into the iris.
The score is 0-2. Some intense competition this round. Next up, the teams are facing off in Clash. Time for the teams to gear up.
Hello.
Wait, I forgot. I literally forgot to buy stuff.
Have you not been the entire game?
Everyone's waiting to see how the match shakes out.
Okay.
The arena is calling. Our teams have 20 seconds left. The time for preparations is almost done.
Wait. Oh, it's his hammer.
This guy is just so mad. He just can't. Oh, what the fuck? Where the fuck are you going?
10 seconds until the objectives unlock.
Come here, and I will heal.
Thanks. Impersonate somebody else.
The objectives.
I can't see you. I can't see you. No, 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 too risky. Oh gosh. Oh. Rip Bozo.
Bro, the Zen is
making a full recovery.
The mercy.
Oh, he's just mad that I just called him off for like nobody asked him about his opinions. Yeah, I'm just getting mad of that.
On, so I can't see
oh, no, yeah, that's the whole
Crusaders! And Zenyatta sends them all into the iris.
Hey, we gotta fall back,
Heroes never die. I'll make sure that
the objective's online.
Guys, point.
Blocking satellite vector!
Not the second. Yeah. Oh, Bob is on point.
Yeah.
Doable is.
Got you in my sights.
My skills are still needed.
Okay, just hide from me through there. He's one. I don't know, he does look suspicious, but like sometimes he's just like missing. I'm gonna die here. Where the hell is he?
online game. Have you ever?
No, 8 cents.
I must return to my post.
An amazing play! Wow! Looks like the way
Yeah, I got kicked in the face.
Let's check the standings. 0
Stadium just
to
makes me
3.
feel like
I can
I
hardly
don't know.
believe my optics
If
when I
I'm
see
doing
stats
bad,
like these.
it's like it's just over and over rounds of me just
Up
not
next,
doing my bestest
push.
and unable
Oh.
to switch.
Yeah.
It's time for
We
the
can
teams
do
to consult
normal,
their playbooks.
Normal thingy.
Oh, unranked, you mean?
Yeah, yeah. If the rank doesn't work. Guys, you see my build? Pure gun. Pure gun.
We've already seen so much action, and there's still more to come.
Is he really good in 2018, 2019? Wait, that's when Overwatch 1. Right?
20 seconds left.
I'll just say that I once got to top 25. And that's it. That was my peak. For ranking.
Like 25 players in the country?
Actually don't know. I think maybe it's region locked, like EU.
Is that like the 25% or like actually top 25?
It just said top 25.
Oh my goodness. Actually, uploading you guys. Oh my goodness.
Oh no. Oh man, I don't think I can keep you alive. Oh bye bye.
Enemy on the move. Stop them. Everything almost ready.
That's still pretty impressive stuff. I still never played Rocket League.
Oh yeah. Rocket League is like
Into the iris.
Lucio balls, and I hate Lucio balls.
The enemy took our lead. Thank you.
This monk, what is happening?
Just report him.
To my post. We must stop
Sauce.
them.
Oh, Soldier 76! 60 seconds left.
Heroes never die.
Oh, I can't see you right now. Oh boy, yeah, you did.
Well, you can carry me then, Gravy, because I'm still learning how to play this game. I want to get good. Oh my god.
I'm ready.
Oh, thank you.
Oh, we need to get that Zen. He's low, he's low. Got him. He bagged him. Just to be sure.
Good.
Heroes never die.
Wishing this team
For the Crusaders!
We've got a replay to watch.
I would like to see this.
Is Asian gravy ready?
Are you gonna join us? Oh, you're right here. My brain was just like skipping that line. I don't think that I've been in the top whatever percentage for anything.
You are top.
That'll change one day. Wait, oh, excuse me? What was that?
Is this wait, this actually works?
I guess so.
Oh,
because
because we're 5
for. Yeah,
because it was wide. That's weird.
And so we need for all the green to be on a team anyway.
Yeah, we're gonna find us another team with 5 stack. He was probably rippled it. Yeah.
Hey.
It's just us!
Oh? Is this like 1,000 damage?
Yeah, this is 1,000 damage.
Okay, look, I'm a big green tone. Green tone! Green tone! Green!
Oh god, you made me be the monkey! Oh god, what do I do?
You chose monkey.
I didn't mean to! Oh god, I'm a monkey. What did I do? What am I doing? Oh god.
Oh fuck. Oh, bye-bye. Wait. I won't pass it! Nah, you're not gonna get it. Don't get it. I'm big face now.
Okay, I guess you found it. Not bad. Oh, I'm playing Smash. Oh.
I've got you.
Oh, no. Hello. Hey. Bye. Sorry. I said sorry.
Wait, I can play Portal still? That's...
Wait, am I still big? Oh! Hey, you guys are not killing me! Guys, oh no. I'm baby now. Just like, it's just like, Squirrel.
So I don't understand his mind and stuff.
It's wrong, just mine. Bye. Bye. Oh. Bye bye. Bye bye. Bye bye. Whoa. Wow. Rude. Oh, come on. That was rude. Wait, I've been rude, that's why. Brain empty.
Oh.
Vote for a map.
Whoa, that's actually crazy.
Select your hero.
I'm so bored.
Select heroes to ban.
Wow. Echoes like Farah.
I always deliver. Outlaw country, huh? Enough bounties out here for a girl to retire on.
Look at us, a full team.
Yay!
Do not worry. I am an expert at
Use
navigating
more
the
mythic
storms.
skin. Yeah, it's bugged. The only way you can use it is if you go to the hero gallery and equip it that way. Yeah, it's like, wait, did they yoink? Did they yoink it?
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Attack commences. Escort the payload.
I don't
Thank you. Oh, fucking hell! Holy shit! Thank you. I haven't seen people play this guy. Oh, did I just like charge him? When he does that? Oh! Not again, I haven't seen him do anything. Oh gosh. Oh dang. I think he's just getting melted. My ball. Please slow, slow. I ulted her. I saw ulted her. Wait, where did she shoot me from? Okay, really? Oh. Fair. No, you can play fine. I'll play over.
Stille træskoen endnu.
Wait, why is she here?
Enemy contact.
That's okay, I'm just gonna take my time. Oh, she did. Never mind.
Oh my goodness.
I hope you know you killed me there.
Who did?
Anknetter.
I've seen tougher spots.
For playing Jeff. Music so loud that I did not hear anyone running after me. I killed myself there.
Surrender to my...
They can't get away with this.
I just want this on, bro.
Check. Why are we stopped? Get the lead out of here. Payload is Oscar Mike.
Oh, okay. Wow. I shouldn't do that. Oh, you gotta hide. Oh, okay. Hi.
60 seconds remaining.
The Jeff was powerful. Yeah, that's fair.
No Vangada!
Oh my goodness.
I just want to play Sombra, but they don't want to play Sombra.
30 seconds remaining.
Oh, you're dead.
Fields online.
Yeah.
I saw Abian's body get blasted.
I've got you in my sights.
Oh, fuck! I thought. Wait, what was happening? I didn't touch points.
Score.
I forgot.
0. Switching sides. Prepare your defenses. Select your hero.
I have inspirational candy.
If I pick Valve's skin, maybe I'll win. Oh, I am Jeff. My name is Jeff. My name.
From imperfection, we build a new world. With a few optimizations, that weapon of yours could probably be much lighter.
But then it would not be so good for smashing faces. Particle cannon online! Let's run them over!
Scan. I'm pulling a scan. Oh, I didn't hear anything.
Yeah, I didn't hear it. I have voice chat turned on.
My mic is thing. Mine is on. I didn't hear anything.
5, 4,
Distributing turret.
3, 2, 1. Attackers incoming.
Oh, bye-bye. Oh, Avion. Oh shit!
Okay.
Oh, bye. Oh, it's okay, we got purple. Hey, what the fuck is that? What the fuck is that thing?
They have us outnumbered. Revelations have come to light. Rasta khul gaya hai. They broke. The payload moves at a distressing rate. Stop them.
Soldier 76.
Adjusting turret placement.
Oh, sheesh.
I have opened the bar. Aligning sentry positions.
That's so dumb of me.
Nu Vangada! I aim to capture.
I'm on fire.
Has reached your checkpoint.
Prolong time. Zenyatta is here.
Hi.
Oh my god. I'm sorry, I died immediately.
Who's it? Oh wow, who's it?
Soldier. A gold soldier.
I'm gonna go Genji. I'm gonna go Genji. Genji's the gold.
Not that in your mom.
Oh no, we have to touch point.
Oh, never mind.
Yeah. I don't think we'll touch it. Boo.
We are no.
Play
What?
the game.
This person was suspicious, by the way.
The Freya?
That part's fine.
Nu Vangada!
What the hell is that? Those movements? What are those movements? Is it me? Yeah. Yeah, but I have to stop for now.
Oh, okay.
But you're gonna climb, aren't you?
Yeah, I'm gonna
Yes.
climb so good, Nino.
I believe in you. Right, guys? Follow Nova's instruction.
I don't know about that.
What do you mean?
Wait, are you gonna, you were streaming, right?
Yeah, I'm gonna raid you.
Oh, well, I mean, I'm just wondering if, I don't know. I'm debating leaving as well.
You're debating leaving?
Yeah,
Is it your nom nom time?
it might be my nom nom time. But, and then